Welcome back to any previous viewers who tuned in to the opening game for the Junior AGL. We're on to game 2 now with the home state, the New South Wales Wolverines. They're taking on the Victorian Eagles back in the Australian circle at the junior level for the first time since 2012. And it's good to see them back in the comp. Victoria historically have had pretty talented players coming out of there, and of course New South Wales. They look pretty impressive, but before I go too far, allow me to bring in my honoured guest for the second game of the tournament, Peter Toss, Senior, former Outback coach, coached the Wolverines many a times himself, and coached the Wolfpack. Mate, welcome to the booth.
Thank you. It's a great honour to be here.
And not unusual, not a guest
day
today,
too,
isn't it? Narrabeen, the sun's come out.
Oh.
We are at Narrabeen, as I said, about just shy of an hour north of Sydney Central. Not too far away at all. It looks like Victoria, they won the toss and they want the ball.
I'll receive, yeah. This is an old, very old battle that's going on here between New South Wales and Victoria. I was lucky enough to be a part of one of the first ones back in 1984, believe it or not. So, yeah, it's always been a rivalry, and it's great to have Victoria back in the fold because they've got great players, and it's just, it's part of our history of our sport too.
Right. And I'll tell you what, a lot of my chat with the coaches pre-game, a lot of talks about where they're, there was a lot of, the theme was that a lot of teams felt undersized. I'll tell you one team that probably doesn't fit that mold, Victoria. Look at them on screen.
They never do, honestly. They've always been big. They've always had big players, and good luck to them.
And look at them, that's a group of young men there.
Yeah, it is.
It's set.
And, you look at, Adam Gotsis, he's a classic example, isn't he?
Exactly right. Now he's doing...
kind of player they turn out here in Victoria.
And they've been a mid-round pick for the Denver Broncos.
Yep.
And not only that, he's well and truly in the rotation, starting quite a few games. He's absolutely living the dream.
He is.
And the wind's starting to pick up now here at Narrabeen. It was pretty calm until the second half in the Queensland WA game. Looks like it's going to be a constant theme throughout this one.
Well, it'll make it interesting, won't it? I mean, with spread offences and so on, a lot of passing that people tend to be using these days. Wind certainly makes a difference. Wind and rain.
Exactly right. Narrabeen
hopefully won't get rain.
definitely known for its rain. The 2010 Nationals, 2011 Nationals.
Yeah.
That was a complete mud bowl down here, and also Outback camps that have been held out here.
Yeah.
It's been famous for it.
Absolutely.
But right now it looks like we might be odds on. Setting to kick off for the Wolverines is number 23, Javil Philly Moiatu. Tell you what, out of all the teams, New South Wales and Victoria might be the two trickiest names.
Yeah,
you picked a good one, mate.
Yeah.
Line drive to kick off. Here come the Victorian Eagles. Welcome back to Junior AGL football. Bringing it back for them is number 17. And that is... Don't tell me, not on my roster. Unless I've... No, number 12, that's why it's not on my roster. Montel Wick. And I'll tell you what, there are raps about this guy coming into it. They say he's a man amongst boys, and he is one powerful athlete.
Yeah, well, he's off to a good start, isn't he?
Darren Mitchell, GA chairman, just walked past the booth.
Yeah. Gave us the wave of acknowledgement.
That's all he needs to do when you're the big man. All right, starting at quarterback for the Victorian Eagles is Simon Sotiropoulos. We'll get faster at that as we go. Complete spread for the Eagles. He's under pressure. He is going to be taken down.
Good defensive play there by New South Wales. Victoria started the game out with an empty set. Looks like they're going for a dynamic start to their offense with no backs in protection. Of course, that's the trade-off, is we don't have anyone to pick up those guys that come off the edge. Good rush there by 42 for New South
credit
Wales.
that to Zach McCarry from the Sutherland Seahawks. Now, we were talking about how I asked you if you'd coach some of these lads, and talking about how long you've been in the league, and the reality is you're a generation away from a lot of these guys. You haven't coached them, but you've coached the guys coaching them.
I have, yeah. I've coached the head coach of a couple of the teams here, and assistant coaches, of course.
Obviously, you a lot of time in the formerly known Bondi Raiders, new NSW Raiders nowadays.
Yeah.
A big stiff arm here from...
Good contain there, 54 there on the defence. Yeah, the key to these sort of games with smaller numbers of players and all that sort of thing is about contain. You know, you give your defense an edge and you give yourself a chance.
Exactly right. But what'll be interesting for a lot of these teams, a lot of these players, you know, Colts football for the most part around the state is 9-man football.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of athletes used to working with a lot more space than they probably do in
Absolutely,
11-man
yeah.
football. And I think it's going to be a learning experience for a lot of, particularly your interior receivers who are used to
Yeah.
having a lot more space between linemen and their outside counterparts. Here's Soteropoulos again. He hands it off this time. I think that's to Wick. Wick is met by a host of New South Welsh D linemen.
Yeah, that's good play in the middle there. It's pretty much a zone concept up the inside there. However, New South Wales is equal to the task.
Yeah, very few playbooks don't include some sort of aspect of zone running now, don't they?
Yeah.
It's become a staple in the modern day football.
Well, you know, you can't make a 300-pound guy go where you want him to. So,
Not consistently anyway. A punt to start off the Eagles, or shall I say conclude the Eagles' first offensive drive. It goes out around halfway, so this is solid field position for the Wolverines.
good field position for New South Wales. So, although, you know, a tactic quite often these days is no return from punts, you know, so kick it out of bounds, at least, because apparently the average is 19 yards per special teams. So if you negate that 19 yards, that's 19 yards less you need to
Exactly right.
make up for every special team.
And we've already seen one punt return for a touchdown earlier
Yeah.
today. Calder Shanks for Queensland, taking it back
Yeah.
over 60 yards. So it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of upside keeping that ball in bounds sometimes.
No.
Anyways, first look at the Wolverines' offense. They're going spread themselves.
Yeah.
Michael Ryan, I think, with his starter, they will keep a tailback in though.
Yep.
Low snap, but it's taken well. The lefty
Good
throws out
swing.
to the left. Here we go. Taking it downfield. I think it's Chariot. Let me see if I got that number correct. It is the All-Australian utility Ben Chariot.
Well,
This-
that's who you're going to get the ball to, isn't it? Get it to your good players and, you know, a well-designed play there,
Nice
little
shot
sort
at
of
the end
swing
as well.
scream.
And I will confuse them. I did confuse team list earlier. Ben Chariot was also the gentleman who kicked off. And now he's catching passes for long gains. Already moving well into Eagle territory. Once again, 2x2 spread. He'll go to the right this time. Throws into the flat. Well covered by the Eagles, though. Getting around the bootlaces early is Aaron Feltis.
So, you know, quite often these type of passes into the flat are to set up other things. If like the first play they had there, they made great yards out of it, you know, so they may be wanting the defence to think about defending in the flat. I mean, between the offensive tackle and the sideline, there's not a lot of people out there, so it's a good area to attack.
Now, the key thing I want to highlight about the new Wolverines offense, look at the two yellow helmets in the interior of that Wolverines line. That's two outback linemen back for a second run. So not only are the outback tested, but they've been through the tournament format before.
Yep.
Jake Edwards at centre will be leading the charge, also a captain. Here he goes, another run. I think this is Cameron Streeter with that jump cut he used so well 2 years ago.
Yep, so exactly what we talked about earlier about giving yourself an edge. You'll see here that Victoria come inside, get influenced inside the outside linebacker instead of creating an edge. Has come inside, has been jumped inside and got hooked on that play. So his coach will talk to him about that, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly right. It's hard, especially people new to the game.
Yeah,
They see ball and want to hit ball and don't always
exactly. Yeah.
take the correct route to a ball.
Yep.
Sometimes you don't understand if it's your play to make or if it's for you to set up somebody else, right?
That's right, and it's hard to teach that on defense. You know, even though it's defense and we want 11 hats on the ball, etc., all those other quotes you hear, we still need to have responsibility football. You know.
Yeah. Now after taking that last run, Cameron Streeter, one of the possibly the starting running back, it looks like he's down with a lower leg injury on his first carry of the game. That's not good news for the Wolverines or this young man.
Yeah. So I think he's with the Pirates, is he?
Yeah.
By the look of his
Western
helmet
Sydney
there, I'd
Pirates,
say he's
yep.
a pirate, yeah.
He lit up last Nationals, so much so that apparently through the camp there was ongoing talk about how much I loved me some Cameron Streeter.
Yeah.
But hey, if you're making plays, you're going to get called.
Yeah.
But we haven't even gotten onto the Wolverines coaching stuff, and that's just littered with talent.
It is.
Led by head coach Glenn Bowes, who's back in the Wolverine fold after taking a short year off, which is, from what I understand, for the sake of his wife and family's sanity.
Yeah.
He took the last campaign off, but obviously involved with the junior outback program. And I've got his whole playing resume with me. We'll go through that decorated career in a moment. Here comes another handoff this time. The new back in Kai Ridgersberg. He gets taken down early. Rujgersberg, I believe. The term from the UTS Gators. One of their more well-rounded backs.
Yeah, good block there by the offensive guard, sealing his man inside.
Got a legal formation on the offense. 5-yard penalty, repeat,
Looks like we've got a
first
false
down.
start, however, on the Wolverines, so they'll be moving back.
Yeah, coach killer. False start.
Just getting the white hat for game 2. Tony Connor calling the shots here for the Zebras in game 2, day 1. There it is, the Seahawks. Rebels, Michael Ryan.
Yeah, great to see Michael back in the game after so many years. Oh no, it's probably a different Michael.
Yeah, namesake. Michael Ryan in a quarterback, unless he's found some Benjamin Button secret that we're not aware of yet. Motion man to the slot. It's a bad snap. Ryan's going to have to dive for it, and yeah, I could hear the coaches gasping for
That's the
air when
difficulty with running that, that jet motion and so on, is getting the timing right between the snap and the motion man, because it's a very tight window to throw into there.
Yeah, but obviously plenty of benefits that can get it if you can
Absolutely,
get that timing right. But yeah, as I was saying, the coaching stuff, I could hear Glenn Bowes and the offensive coordinator.
There it is, right there.
There it is, freshly shaven. But anytime you see a quarterback diving for a fumble,
Yeah,
you have your heart in your mouth for a little bit, don't
exactly. For two reasons.
After play,
The worst being that you
personal
might
foul.
lose the ball.
Late hit, number 21 on
Nice.
the defence.
I see what you
Touches
did
into the goal, automatic, first down.
you? Wait a minute. It's actually on the Eagles. Say stuff. I might just pan the wheel over to you for a second there.
No problem. So that's quite a costly penalty here for the Victorians. It's going to bring up a first down and first and goal, I'd say, or possibly first and 10 from the 11.
So we'll go off this one. Go off this one. Do the best they decide. Cheers.
Single back formation, sweep play. This time the Victorians are up to the task. The cornerback there, number 2 for Victoria, fought off his blocker and came up and gave them an edge.
And back in the game, we're just talking about the play there from Oliver Bennett.
Oliver
2 on
Bennett.
2.
Yeah. It's quite often one of the things that that people don't think about as a receiver's job, and that is blocking for the run play. And that's a classic example of where we, if you can't get the block made, then it's going to end up costing us. So.
Be a factor is what
Yeah.
coaches ask. Do something to affect the play.
Yeah. Just be connected to the man.
Make his job harder in some way, shape, or
Step
form.
on his toes, we used to say. But
Wolverines still on the attack.
little
Back
play
at
action
yeah,
type play. And
back to Chariot. Chariot has to
Fights
fight
off
off a
some-
host of defenders. Look at him fighting for every inch.
Yeah, that's a tough run. Great effort there. So a little type of play action, although the quarterback maybe didn't sell it quite enough, but it was that type of action in the backfield.
Just rear the offensive line there. You had Jake Edwards and his partner, his left guard, Jacob Shield. 2 of the most capped players on this Wolverines outfit. Obviously, Jake Edwards, stepson of Matty Steele, the not tournament director, but national programs director for GA. Ryan. Awkward handoff, but he gets it off.
It seemed to take a while to develop,
Yeah,
didn't it?
thought so too. Rajgersberg probably made it look a lot better with his quickness, though.
Yeah. Yeah, it just
One
seems the
Mississippi,
timing
two
was out a
Mississippi.
tad there. As a lead play, it's just the back is quite deep in the backfield there, so it's hard to get the timing right.
Exactly right. In any case, and just once again, just to update anyone with our scoreboard, unfortunately our third referee, who's supposed to be in the things, has become unavailable again. Once again, we've got the officials conference going on right now, so we don't have access to as many extra referees as we anticipated, but the Wolverines will look to try and get on the board here with a field goal. Chariot, and he's probably happily take that the whistles were blown there, because that went straight into the back of one of his linemen.
Yeah.
Delay
So,
game on the
This
offence.
is a
5
very
yard penalty, repeat, fourth down.
important part of the game, obviously, because it can lead to points, but it's such an intricate part of the game as well, just how the holder operates, the timing between the snapper and kicker, all that type of stuff. It's all stuff that needs to be rehearsed over and over, and just little technical things like 21 there, the holder, his foot there, as you can see, he sticks it pretty much out near where he's going to put the ball down. So,
Yeah.
that can create a problem.
Holder is Minicelli. It's up, it's high, but is it wide?
It is wide. Yeah,
Wide
it's just
right.
of the post. However, at least the timing was right. They got a kick off. It had the distance.
Yeah, it proves that they can go back and try to take that again. This might be a little
Exactly.
better on the reverse angle. Look, I tell you what, the biggest thing kickers at our division need is to be able to get that ball up into the air real quick. And the Chariots proved that he can do that. So I think they'll have plenty of confidence going back to him later if need be.
Absolutely. So, is there limited restrictions on the rush for a kick?
No,
No.
complete. Same as the men's rule there.
Okay.
Send as many as you like. I think it's something that's just not all that practiced
Yeah.
in college football, and when they do, it's another different sort of spacing in 9-man football.
Exactly. Yeah. 'Cause
That
you've
being
got-
said, I've seen a lot of 9-man teams now all across the state be able to develop a successful PAT game in the 9-man format. If they can do
Yeah.
it there, they should be able to do it in 11. And another pass this
Okay.
time out to the 22,
yeah, a little swing route there out of the flat again.
Max Sutov. A couple of Aussie outback reps connecting with each other there. That's going to be a fun combination for me to say all tournament. Soteropoulos to Max Sutov.
Yeah. So both teams have recognised that area of the field as where they want to attack, into the flat, the least defended part of the field.
It's generally where the defense will allow stuff to happen.
Yeah.
And that's when we get to see all those players who love to attack the perimeter, use their run after the catch skill. Here we go with Wick with the arm on the inside there. Almost looked to get stripped, but he holds on with plenty of strength.
Good strong run. So the fullback just on a dive play. So with their bodies, I mean, this is a thing that Victoria could do. They could say, well, we got bodies. We're going to put our bodies on your bodies, and we don't need to be too flash.
Yeah, but that's a formidable defensive line from the Wolverines as well.
It is, yeah.
You can see the defensive tackle there, number 79, Tyrone Finau from the Peon Ducks. Takes up a lot of space, and then on top of that, the other man we're probably looking for is one of the edge guys there.
All right, free play.
Denzel Benaba, but yeah, you're right, free play. Unfortunately, it wasn't a pass play,
Yeah.
but they still make positive yardage out of that. They probably might even take the yardage over the penalty. Solid footwork
So a
there.
dive play there. Interesting to have a dive
Offside
play.
on the defence. Number 40,
Have a
5-yard
tailback.
penalty. First down.
Well, I think the Wolverines
Sorry,
doesn't get
penalty
involved
is
in the play,
declined.
so
Result of the play, first down.
First down, being signaled, I think.
they might come to an option, some type of option down the track.
They're leading themselves with plenty of options.
Yeah.
Mind the pun. Soteropoulos. Back with trips, this time out to the left. 1, 2, 3. You can see the one isolated receiver to the right. That's Max Sutov. He'll throw it that way, and he'll body him up. And he'll pick up 7 yards on a great first down grab.
Good catch.
Jeez, it's a luxury to have a receiver like that.
Yeah.
Throw it up there, let him grab it.
Tall fella too. I think he might be short of a first down, but that's
And New South Wales have got a guy like that themselves, Liam Brown. We haven't seen him get involved yet.
yeah.
Made in a very, very similar sort of body frame.
Uh-huh.
There's Denzel Benaba, another one of the beasts on this Wolverines D-line. Under pressure, whether he knows it's another story,
Oh.
gets rid of it. That was almost a bit of a semi-screen, it
It
looked like
was.
there. Pass intended to number 19 and Jonah Hickleton. It's like a rollout screen. Take a look at this.
So 19, I'm not sure.
Oh, I don't think it was. I think he was just going out there and we had a
I think it
lineman
was
going
the
with it.
screen because 19 was looking for the ball early. It just didn't come as early as he thought it would.
Change of personnel. Kieran Turner jumping in the huddle now. Jeez.
So far it's been pretty good as far as penalties go, which is
Yeah, it's been both. Isaac Tui.
for the first game for both teams. You know, it's good to see that there's
Look
not
at
too
this.
many penalties. you
Look at the size of that left tackle, Isaac Tui.
know. yeah.
He's got some footwork too. Long ball. And it's almost caught in and out of the hands.
Out of his hands, yeah.
Pass intended and almost caught there by Connor Boyd, the Southeastern Predators big man. Or outside man, I should say, rather than big.
Eric Minicelli,
Yeah,
the cornerback on that play.
corner and holder. Fourth down now, and they're going for it, keeping the punter on the sideline. Soteropoulos hands it off. They've got the first down, and Montel Wick will push for a couple extra. And
That's
we've
a
got
powerful built back, that guy.
exactly right, and you've got, and he knows it too. Got a couple of Wolverines
Montel Wick, yeah.
left on the ground.
He's built like a fullback. Old school fullback. So there is an injury on
the field.
New South Wales defence.
30 seconds remaining in the quarter. Just trying to get a second-hand combination. Might have been 53 seconds we're hearing now. But Montel Wick, grown man, knows how to lower the shoulder.
He does. And I think Victoria may well look to this, to come back to this as being part of their philosophy for today's game is run the big man.
Why not? He's got a big dog, got to feed him. But one of the players down to number 24 now. We're finally getting a look in for
Blake
the
Gads.
Blake Gads, like one of the corner now.
Blake
already-
Gads down injured. Seems to have a leg injury of some kind.
Yeah, well, that'll be the second one they've had. They've lost Streeter earlier, who I haven't seen return to the game yet.
Yeah.
There's a couple of the crowd members now. A few more have piled in here to Narrabeen at the Sydney Academy Sports and Recreation to support the home side. That might be that Michael Galanos I might have spotted in the top corner there. Former Wolverine from 2 years ago.
Plus there'll be scouts here from the outback.
Exactly right. One of them which was just commentating with me, the head coach.
Coach Rowe.
Here come Victoria again on first down. Managed to keep the drive alive on a fourth down conversion. Deep drop here from Soteropoulos. He's letting it fly, but he's got nothing but Wolverines under the ball. And taken down there, but not after collecting the pick. Coming away with his first takeaway is Wolverines' Damon Rowland. Now he's listed as a linebacker here on our roster, but slash safety. He was certainly playing some safety there, wasn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, that was. He didn't have a lot of chance to get in that completion. There was a lot of defenders there.
Was that a situation, Mark? Because it didn't seem like he was under pressure, but they just really wanted to take a shot at that point.
Yeah, I think so.
Sometimes you just feel like it might be a time to just remind the
Well,
defense.
it's the hardest part of the game to learn is to read on the run for a quarterback and read coverages as they move.
All right, now back on offense is Ryan. Ryan with his 4 wide receivers set. Low snap, but he handles it nicely. He's got time. He's wanting a one-on-one now. We're going to go back-to-back turnovers. We were inches away from it. On the coverage is number 18, Tom Biggs.
Speaking of him routes, yeah. There's another him route down the sideline.
It was almost a carbon copy, wasn't
You know,
it?
if he put a bit more on that, they had a chance, you know.
Lucas Jeff, the intended wide receiver in that particular situation.
And he did have position. He just needed to lay it out in front a little more. But anyway, Coach Bowers there trying to, keep him honest.
Yes.
Going deep on that play.
3 wide receivers this time to the right. And Streeter's back in the game, and he's making men miss. Picks up about 5, maybe 6 yards by the end of it. His running style hasn't changed from 2017. Still the effective zone runner
Good
he
block
was.
by 53. Just takes his 5 technique outside and opens up the hole to the inside. A good seal block by the guard. Yeah, that's just good old school blocking. Cover the man up, take him.
Take him for a ride. Here we are on 3rd and, we'll call it medium, but it's close to short. 3rd and 4. He's might have caught him offside there. Let's see who they credit.
This would be an interesting call.
Tell you what, that's honestly one of the hardest jobs for a referee.
Yeah,
I swear I can never tell.
yeah.
Looks like it'll be on
False
the offense.
start, yeah. Which is a shame. That changes the situation there.
Certainly does. So now they're going to have to think about how they're going to handle this.
Well, a shame for New South Wales, not so much for Victoria.
Yeah. 3rd and long now, so Victoria have a chance to try and dial up a blitz here. I say keep our eyes on number 99, the big fella in the middle there, Finn Hazel Polkinghorn. You know,
The man mountain.
Coach Noonan described him, head coach of the Eagles, described him as sort of like the only way you can compare him is maybe Joey Bosa out of the Los Angeles Chargers with his ability. Says he would not look out of place on a college roster.
Yeah, he looks about that size even.
Yeah, he's sitting around. That situation, they move him outside, can play inside, outside, because he's got the size and athleticism to do both. We're going to have to wait a little longer to see that, though. There's a timeout been taken, but sorry, is that end of quarter, perhaps? End of quarter, we're getting confirmation on, so we'll see it on the other side of the field. But after first quarter gone, we've got a scoreless first half here, Coach.
Wow.
Thoughts?
I mean, I'd sort of expect that. I mean, firstly, for being the first game for both these teams, a lot of new blood, obviously on Victoria's team, but even New South Wales, you know, there's a lot of new players in there that compared to previous years. So quite often these type of games come down to defence, and it's good to see both defences fronting up and playing well. So special teams could well be an interesting factor here, because so far it's been two big plays on special teams that have made a difference. So the 4th down conversion for Victoria, and the extra point that was missed, the field goal that was missed by New South Wales.
Yeah, that's huge, isn't it, in retrospect?
So even though it's only 3 points, it still is in the back of the minds of the Victorians, if they were successful, that they've got to at least score 3, you know.
Well, it's just another possession, right?
Yeah. So, as you'd expect, defence is a big part of this game, and it'll be interesting to see how it plays out as far as special teams goes towards the end of the game.
And I think in a situation like this in a tournament where you have such limited time to make plays and prepare,
Yeah.
special teams where you just let athletes be athletes
Yeah.
can definitely dictate a game. Victoria's showing blitz here, but will only send 4, maybe 5 by the end of it. They will get the pass away, and it's overthrown. They try to go to the flat.
It just leaked out into the flat. Yeah,
to,
so it
Roger's
looked like
ball.
part of the protection, and then just released out.
It's an interesting choice there. It's obviously at quarterback for them is Michael Ryan, who is a noted lover of the deep ball here.
Right.
And their coaching staff said if one thing they're trying to do is tell him to accept and take what the defense gives him. Could possibly be a little bit of overcorrection there. He probably has a chance to throw the deep ball there if he wants to, but went to that flat real quick.
Yep.
So it's about finding that balance.
Coach Bowers likes to play the lateral game. So when you look at it, you've got only so many people that can cover 53 in the third yard. So that's where the weaknesses could show is along the line of scrimmage. So I guess that's his philosophy to it, which is fair enough.
2-ball punt system. It's a good punt. Great protection. Here's a chance for a return. Makes the first miss.
Got some wide open field here.
Weighing up the situation. Now the coverage has come through, but he's broken through that. That's not Blake Gads. That is Kenny Liu. And now we've got helmets removed. Whistles being blown. And I've updated that apparently I've got hot water back in my accommodation now.
Nice.
Wasn't the case this morning,
So
I'll tell you that.
Leave, eh? You're leaving it.
Anyways, back to football though. Flags on the play there, and not unusual to happen on a big return like that. Bodies go flying everywhere.
Especially when you have people running against the grain and things like that. People get hit in the back and all sorts of ugly things can happen. It's almost part of the game now is who's got the penalty and how much is it going to cost us on special teams.
You just accept it.
Even at the ultimate level, the NFL level, it's very common to see flags on special teams. So.
Well, it's one of those things you coach players to go out there, make a play. You know, don't be a passenger. And I think one of the famous things that old coach of mine, Coach Box, used to say was, if you're going to make a mistake, make it big.
Yeah.
So
do it at 100 mile an hour. Yeah.
I think a lot of people take that quite literally, and special teams is the best time to use that.
There's a bit of a conference going on here, so the officials just making sure they get it right.
Slipping in some chat about what they're going to have for lunch as well.
Yeah, well, that comes into it. Usually in the second half, though.
So a little bit hungry. Well, we are 3 games. 2 years ago with less teams, it was 2 games a day. Now it's a full stacked 3 games a day here. 3 games of junior AGL action.
Yeah, that's you need a lot of officials, a lot of volunteers, sideline people. So it's a credit to Gridiron Australia and New South Wales, and all the states, of course, getting their teams here. Because our sport has such big rosters. It takes a lot of resources to get people from into a national situation like this. So good on them, and I still think that this format is the best format.
Yeah, even
going to camp for a week.
You're a big fan of that still,
Oh,
even the men's format. You don't like the new fly-in,
fly-out? Rock stars fly in, fly out. That works in the NFL and college where they got the money to do it, but where we're working on limited resources. The other benefits of being in a camp is you get to meet other people from other states. You don't meet anyone when you fly in and play and then just sort of say, "Oh, good on you," and you're gone again. So.
Whoa. Okay. Well, we unfortunately don't have the officials. We don't have the officials mic'd up, but I saw from the hand signals, I think someone got tossed.
Oh, really? Wow.
There was a bit of a scuffle there, and now the Victoria, you can see it on screen there.
Yeah.
Victoria sideline not happy.
Coach had the Longhorns hat on.
It's I'll be Coach Loft, and I'm not sure. Sometimes names in the sport, you don't know faces.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
So, head coach is Daniel Noonan, and the assistant coach is Brian Calloway, Edward Lofton, Jesse Sporton. Sorry, rented lips. Mouth's not working too well today.
I think that'd have to be Coach Noonan there. I've spoken to him over the phone.
Michael Kerr, I think it is. Jordan Piggott and Callum Marini.
So they're still hooting and hollering. They're still very animated on the sideline there. Coach Calloway had to come in and sort of calm things down. He's usually the one firing people up. Flag, so I don't know. We missed it on the replay. Some sort of big for someone to get kicked worked out that quickly. It's going to be either something said or something, or a punch being thrown. We already saw one person tossed in the earlier game. Let's see if we can catch it. We'll bring up the replay one time and see if we can see what happened, but or not. See if we can spot anything here.
Oh,
well, there's a hit there from. I think that was fine. No doubt that would have started anything. Now, it's that shot there. You can see the helmet. It's in the back and started. So someone might have said for targeting even.
Seems like it might have been 54, was it? By the look of that.
The big left tackle. And we were talking about earlier, and Isaac Tui. We'll try to get some comms to us and an explanation. Well, targeting is something that can get you ejected real quick as well.
Yeah.
Especially if it's...
And I'm sure the tournament will have rules about coming back into the competition.
Yeah, usually it's about suffering one game penalty. And this is in the first half as well. So sometimes that comes into the conversation, but was it the first half or second half? Well, I'm telling you what, the team's coming out there without number 54. So I think it's confirmed that he has been tossed. Enough we can see on the sideline, him walking off or anything.
I believe, yes, I think that is him over there. I see without his equipment on anymore. So
yep, that's him. So he will no longer be taking part of this game and possibly the next.
Yeah.
And when you've only got so many games in this tournament, that is huge.
It is massive.
So we will see a change at left tackle here in a very precarious position. For once, it actually might be more advantageous for us to look at the windscreen. You really see the size of the bulkiness of Wick there. Soteropoulos. He'll hand off to Wick. Wick tries to patiently wait, but they're going to pick up a safety. Taken down there by number...
Great play there by the New South Wales defence.
Number 99, Denzel Banaba. Or Banaba. And he knows it too. He says a big man's got to eat, and that's the first scoring of this game. A safety to the Wolverines, or is it?
Wow, that was pretty much all him. 99 there for New South Wales. Denzel Banaba.
I was just checking to see if that tip of the football got out past the end zone, but they marked it a safety.
Yeah, well, we don't have replay, so it's what they see is what we get.
Exactly right.
So, special teams, eh?
How about it? Causing dramas, getting people ejected.
Defence, especially, they're coming up with the points for New South Wales. Mind you, that's a tough position to be in. A lot of coaches, emphasise what are we going to do on third and long and so on. But I think one of the points you've got to really think of is what are we going to do when we're on our own goal line and work on that.
Exactly right. It happens more often than people think.
Yeah, and there's a lot of pressure on the players when you're in that position. So.
Well, I was watching something on the New England Patriots, or maybe it was specifically Bill Belichick. He was talking about one of the best times to use hard count. I'm just confirming there for our staff there. It was a safety leading to 2 points, and maybe it's a good time to quickly educate those who are new to the game. So, comparing it to rugby league, if a team in possession gets tackled in their own goal line or behind their own goal line there, not only do they have to kick back to the opposing team at their own 20, but they also surrender 2 points.
That's right, yeah. And it's not a very common occurrence, actually.
Yeah, it happens a couple times a season, maybe.
Yeah, in American football. So now not only do New South Wales get 2 points, but they also get the ball back.
And it's also worth noting that it's actually a free kick here, so if they so wanted,
they could punt. Yeah.
They could punt the football. So it's a decision of the head coach and the special teams coaches about whether they think can get the ball furthest or safely away.
Yeah.
Generally, it's a kickoff, but occasionally when you've got a booming punter or you're trying to get that hang time.
Yeah, Victorians with AFL and
exactly
so on.
Right. So it looks
like
well
punt it. However, in this case, they're going to kick it off the tee.
Go off the tee. Anton Maksutov, wide receiver, but also kicker. With his big right boot, will go for. I don't know if that was intentional.
No,
but one lineman just had his dreams come true.
Yeah.
Returning it for New South Wales is Joseph Lataraka. Add 5 yards to his kick return stats.
That's it.
He didn't just go look at the loaf of bread carry and everything.
I guess the advantage of New South Wales players is that they play a lot of rugby and a lot of rugby union, so handling the ball they're quite used to it,
Yeah. And that's a theme, actually, that'll come a little more relevant in the last game when South Australia gets involved. A state that doesn't have a very rich or very thick rugby league or rugby union background leads to them using a lot of undersized linemen. Let's see if that trend continues here in this tournament. Ryan, he'll throw left, his favoured side. Nice
Great
moves there by the outside wide receiver, picking up a good chunk of yardage there is Connor Moore.
Yeah, they do say if you catch the ball, break to the outside on those short passes into the flat. Quite often that's where the yards are made. And plus, coming inside, there's a lot of angry people coming back out at you.
A lot of mean guys. 2-0 the score reads with approximately 3.5 minutes remaining here in the first half. New South Wales, the home side, they lead their guests by a measly 2 points. Very, very tight margin. Looking to add to that, though, inside Victorian Eagles territory. In motion goes Moore. They'll hand off to Streeter. Streeter has to change directions. That's exactly what he does. Avoids the first wave. The second ducks under the third, but eventually taken down for a gain of maybe half a yard.
Well, our big man there, Finn Hazel Ponkinghorn, was involved in that play there, stringing it out, stretching the play out. Yeah, once you can get a running back running side to side, it's quite often a good thing because your troops can arrive and assist with the tackle. Seems a bit more pushing and shoving going on over there.
Oh, we talked about this rivalry.
Yeah, that's true.
Mixed up my numbers there, so it was actually a loss of yardage there for Streeter.
Yeah. You want to get a foot in the ground and start heading north as soon as you can.
Exactly right. Quickest point of the end zones, A to B. Just one north straight line.
Unsportsmanlike.
On Cameron Streeter, I heard 26 offense. Looks like we've got a few more audio issues. Don't know what that's the stream or the ground at the moment, but working on it. The crew's already busy around us.
Yeah, so these young fellas letting their emotion get the better of them at the moment on both sides of the ball.
I think that kind of happens, especially in the early games of tournaments, because you have this very long preparation for it, and you just want to go and finally get to hit someone who's not your own teammate.
Exactly, yeah. And also you're playing for your state, it's an important thing. So
9:23, by the way, is the time communicated to us. Left in the first quarter. Apologies for any misdirection earlier. Deep drop, and he's sacked. He's lost it. The ball's free. The Eagles are on it, and the Eagles recover.
Great
what a
play
sack recovered there by number 41, Elijah Tarawa, who comes in and makes the play, though. Unblocked coming in off the edge is Aaron Feltis.
Well, we talked about the edge, didn't we? He certainly gave him an edge on that play.
Well, you saw there, the defensive tackle double-teamed. The defensive end in Hazel Polkinghorn to the left double-teamed. They left no blockers available left. And coming in free was Feltis, and he did the right thing, knocked that ball out.
Also, the back isn't part of the protection either. He's filtering out into the field, so it's a numbers game, So I'm sure the New South Wales offence will work on that, getting the back into the blocking scheme.
And you might have to trust a few more linemen to go one-on-one.
Yeah.
Or, as you said, getting your back involved or a tight end in there. Very few teams actually having a listed tight end in this format. Well, that's the way the game is nowadays.
The era of the spread.
Just a lot of teams are saying we're happy to just rent out space for that tight end position. Here goes Wick. Wick with some moves. Pushing forward now, a bit of aiding the runner, but hey, who calls that nowadays?
Yeah. Well, as long as you're pushing the runner, that's the thing. If you're pulling the runner, that's a different story.
You tell me.
Yeah. The referees felt that he was pushing the runner.
Pushing with these muscles. And we've got another Wolverine down. It's a key player as well. Eric Minicelli, who's obviously a starting corner, but also their holder on special teams. He looks like he's okay, but he will take a play. Minicelli. And also got flags down.
Yeah.
Already proven to be a messy game.
I think we spoke too soon about the flags, eh?
Yeah, I think you gave way too much credit, mate. You put the absolute mocker on it now.
Yeah, sorry, boys.
So much laundry to do since then.
Sorry, viewers. That's my bad.
Just gives us more and more time to talk about old anecdotes in between
Yeah, well,
locals.
we've always had a... Oh, this is going to be a personal foul.
We do apologise, don't have them marked up, but it
On
is
both teams.
again both teams, so it's going to be offsetting here. But the question is, anyone tossed?
Yeah.
So offsetting
They're all
personal
still there.
fouls. So ultimately, no harm, no foul.
Yeah.
But it will go on the record, so it means
Yep.
a couple of players are going to be a little bit closer to ejection. 9 minutes and 2 seconds, the official clock we've gotten. Time we're getting.
Yeah, so they've always been spirited matchups. New South Wales and Victoria. And the Victorians are, they're just as supportive of their own players, the coaches and everything as anyone else. So you sort of, it happens at this level.
You got to accept a little bit, especially the age group we're talking.
Yeah.
Due to that, it has been a very much a stop-start affair. And then adding a fullback now, joining the backfield with Soteropoulos is Philly Moiatu, sorry. And Montel Wick, there's the Victoria coaching staff. Clearly sleeves optional.
Yeah. So we've I'm not exactly sure what the hold up is here, but the officials are having a discussion about something.
Give it a recap on both coaches. Glenn Bowers is talking about
Yeah.
plenty of Outback teams. He was involved in the most recent 2017, 2018. Was a running back assistant from 2016 in Junior Outback and during their trip to China in Harbin.
Yeah.
As well, he's coached wide receivers and tight ends in the qualifier against American Samoa. I believe that was that really wet game.
That
up
was
in
a really
Runaway
wet
Bay.
game where we got flogged.
Yeah, and it was we had a couple of players almost drowned in the water that was up at Runaway Bay. Here goes Soteropoulos, looking deep, getting deep, and that is a completion and for a touchdown. The Victoria Eagles, they score the first 6-pointer in here in this Game 2 matchup on day one. A simple corner out
Big
gets behind the
target there
coverage.
too.
Maksutov collecting the 6-pointer. And, well, I think you have a few people looking in the backfield here, Coach. How does he get so open?
Well, that's exactly right. I mean, the other great thing, you'll see the benefit of having two backs in to protect the quarterback. We're talking about him routes, so that was a him route, a corner route to the receiver there, and both backs are in, which afforded the quarterback time to be able to get rid of that pass.
That's one answer to defending against the blitz, matching the same numbers.
Yep.
You do get less receivers, but you get that extra time.
You do.
And if you've got a receiver like Maksutov, sometimes that's all they need.
And if we got quarterbacks that are locking on the targets anyway,
Why not, right?
why not
Lean
protect
into
them,
it.
right?
Here's a carry to
Well,
the
the big man
fullback.
carries it up for the 2-point conversion as well.
Philly
Good power play.
Philly Moatu, I should say. Love seeing fullbacks get those 2-point conversions. It was my specialty back in the day. So
Nice.
he makes a score 8-2 midway through the second quarter.
Yeah, so it just goes to show how the game can turn. It looked like at one stage there Victoria were really struggling, and then they got to put a few good plays together, got some field position, and came up with a play. So it was a fact of a lot of the defensive backs there on New South Wales were looking into the backfield and not worrying about their responsibility, so Corner route's a great route, though. Having said that,
certainly is. I think it's one of the routes that most DBs hate defending, especially when you've got a big guy. Makeshift's got some size to him.
yeah, he is. He's a good sized guy.
That's where you can really start to use that frame to sort of shield any of the.
And it was a great
defensive
pass
lines.
he threw to a spot. He knew where his receiver was headed, so he threw him open basically. So
And then fantastic work for him to get the last 5 yards. He had to fight for it.
Yep.
Now he's back to kick off.
So 8-2 here between New South Wales and Victoria. New South Wales with their safety.
Obviously,
Still to build on any real offense at the moment, so we'll see what they have in store for this series.
that's an awkward quick. He has touched it though, so he has to return it.
Nice cut.
And he's taken down inside the 20. I think returning that for the Wolverines. It's number 30 and Ryan Mulvaney.
So not great field position here, but you got to start somewhere, right? So
Exactly right. And well, let's see if they let the leash off a little off Michael Ryan and see if he can start making some deep plays happen. He did have a couple big plays with Chariot so far. Now he's moved on to centre now, away from the pistol. And they'll hand this ball off. Simple run to the right-hand side.
So there's something to be said for that going under centre, and that is that the ball gets into the line of scrimmage. The mesh happens closer to the line of scrimmage, so in theory you can get the ball into the line quicker.
Well, they're all over there. Now taking some carries
Yeah.
is Nelly Wabau.
However, I would probably bring the back up a little tighter to the
I
line.
thought maybe just a yard.
Yeah.
But he is considered the power back of their running back group. Centre Jake Edwards. It's a test. Everyone's talking about it. It's a test for the quarterback. It's also a test for the centre to move between different snaps at times.
Yeah. It is, yeah.
Once again, going to the exact same play, it looks like. This one a little more effective.
Looks like pulling guard play there.
Nella Wabau.
Oh, tackle. Okay.
Oh, yeah, how about that?
Backside tackle, pulls up, leads around the corner.
Jason Ngigi.
So that's a good thing to see. The offensive lineman not just base blocking, and having some coaches putting some imagination into the blocking scheme and pay dividends on that particular play.
And I think we just got a timeout there.
Yep.
7:34, the time remaining in the quarter.
So we talked about Coach Bowers. Mitch Wallner is a defensive coordinator. Jordan Rowland is an offensive assistant, along with Aaron Noakes, Joey Doherty. My mouth's not working today. Courtney Skaith is a team assistant or assistant manager, and Sydney Guinness
There,
is the physio.
Mitch Wallner, obviously very famous. I was talking to Coach Bose about it, and he said they definitely got some sort of good cop, bad cop dynamic going on between them.
Which one's which? That's the question. Well, we know Coach Bowers is the good cop.
Yeah, I don't think we're fooling anybody.
He's a lovely guy.
Yeah, it was plenty. Gave me plenty of time on the phone a couple of nights ago.
Yeah.
Talking about his team.
Yeah, he's put a lot of time into the sport.
Yes, almost over 20 years, I believe. 16
Yeah.
of those with the Geelong Bucks. There's
Yeah.
us on the commentary booth. You can't see us, but there's my hand.
That's your hand. My hand can't be seen. So I've got to keep my hands inside the rod at all times.
That's what the rules state, mate. Here comes. Now they've moved back to the
live
shotgun.
action.
Another give to Nolo Wabau.
Little counter action there by the running back.
Looks like they're moving into, well, different running backs, I think, provide different skills, therefore
Yeah.
provide different running schemes.
Once again, backside pull there.
They pulled two of them, actually, the guard and the tackle.
See, Green Bay, Coach Bowers has been a big fan of Green Bay, so we're starting to see some of that 1940s offense here now.
Back in the days of
Student body right, yeah.
Who was that fullback running back they had for so long? I can't remember. He'd be running for Bart Starr and stuff like that. Bringing back bells.
Yeah. We'll have a history lesson.
But can't say enough of it now. As we talked about how everyone has inside zone, outside zone. Sometimes some people fall way too in love with that and they don't actually have a power alternative.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, early penetration, but the tackle's broken by Nale Wabau. And gosh, they're making him work for his yardage, aren't they?
Again. That was Denzel.
Big Denzel.
Was it Denzel?
Banaba. We'll soon see.
No, I've got the wrong team.
No, you're looking at the
Finn.
opposite. Hazel Polkinghorn.
Yeah, he got in there and was able to make, just wasn't quite able to make the play, but he was in the backfield very quickly.
Victoria, one of the few teams in the comp with the names on the back of the jersey, and as a commentator and caller, I certainly appreciate that. DBs all backing off here for Victoria Eagles. Eagles, though, they send 5. And New South Wales will answer by going to the one-on-one coverage. Oh, that could have been
almost
a
spectacular catch.
He's looking for a
So
flag.
he's looking for a call, but could have gone either way, honestly.
Yeah, and that's Liam Brown.
I mean, he's fighting on the guy off as well.
Exactly right. You saw those hands down
Yeah.
the bottom there.
It's a little two-way action there, but I don't think he'd get a call for that one somehow.
I expect a few more balls like that going his way with his big frame. They talked about he's their real sort of chain mover there on the outside.
Yeah, and when you look at his alignment on that play at the snap, he was aligned well inside the numbers, so he was giving himself plenty of room outside for that particular pass. So you'll see he's got trips now, so he's lined up more on the numbers. But in that earlier play, he was in about where that slot receiver is right now. So
Giving himself some room to fade to the sideline.
yeah.
And they will run with Nolly Wabau again. He's taken down only after making a couple of yards. One maybe. That'll bring up second down and 9. No, third down and 9, my apologies.
Valami Lolo, the right guard there for New South Wales, a big man.
There's plenty of them, particularly with these two rosters.
Yeah.
5 minutes left in the quarter. Slowly working our way to the 2-minute warning. Snap taken, it's low, but they'll give it to Nully Wabau. Tell you what, this is his quarter. And a nice run up there. They continue to pull the guards, and he continues to find space.
Yeah.
First down. Well, actually, no, I think that might have been a zone, or just a lineman got on their bike. In any case, first down at Wolverines, chasing a 6-point deficit right now, but they're inside Victorian Eagle territory. They've edged their way over the 50.
Yeah, promising drive here for New South Wales.
I'm just wondering when the play action pass is coming.
Well, it's going to come.
Trips left.
We're in trips now.
Plenty of space still to the outside of this trip set, though. Still inside the numbers. There it is.
Right,
they're going to go to a screen, though, but the pass, he just let
little
that
wayward, little high.
Trail a bit there. It was probably not a bad time. The blockers were set up.
Probably a good thing to come back with a little sluggo play here.
Oh, yeah. Sort of love the chess game of American football. Fake the screen and get someone going down the sideline.
Yeah.
Once again, this very tight alignment of the outside wide receiver. Still inside the numbers. Deep drop here. He wants to go deep long. Long's going to get on his bike. He's got plenty of space. Past the 40. Takes it out of bounds at the 35. Smart decision.
Yeah, so I don't know whether whether the receiver's split is by design or because quite often we don't practice on fields that are totally marked out. So that's one of the hard things to teach receivers is about using the field. It works for him on the fade routes, however he went inside on that one, so may have been a designed rollout or a designed quarterback keep.
If it was a good call.
Good call. Good call, coach.
Coach will claim it, even if it was the quarterback saying, there's nothing there, I'm going to run. 3-by-1. Play action, looking for the screen, this time to the trip side, on the open side. Makes a man miss. I think that's more. And eventually takes that close to the 25. Matter of fact, I think he crossed it. This time they go to the same play, but to the other side of the field. Corner more.
Mauer, is it?
Mauer?
Mauer.
Could be Mauer.
Slippery character. But I mean that in the nicest terms. So Victoria's called timeout here. The coaches no doubt want to have a chat to their players about
3 minutes 27 seconds remaining on the clock. We'll see the timeout happen now. I think that one was to
handsome
Victoria.
man there on the sideline.
The ball boys getting a bit of love. Thank you for those coming down to help out and help run the game day.
Exactly.
Still
Without
need
volunteers, we'd be nowhere, would we?
Exactly right. Still people need people running the chains and helping set up the field. And I think there's only one timeout left for Victoria now.
So if you're in New South Wales, come on down to the field here at Narrabeen.
And for those
New South Wales Academy of Sport.
Oh, yeah, just where the home of the Manly Sea Eagles.
There'll be games on all week here, so the culmination will be Saturday, is that right?
Yeah, Saturday will be Natty Final Day. Natty Saddy, as I call it.
There'll be games on throughout the week at various times.
Yeah, Tuesday, Thursday and Friday.
And come down and see some of these young men.
The future of the sport, really.
That's it, absolutely.
Both playing and coaching, if you ask me, with some of the young coaches floating around.
Too right.
Ngigi, number 53. He's not your typical left tackle build, is he?
No, he's not.
But he's certainly getting the job done. Look at that. Perfect build and everything. Oh, that pass almost intercepted and then almost into the arms of Mel.
Almost completed.
We've had a couple of those today. And it falls incomplete and we'll reload for another down.
Yeah, so that left tackle's doing a great job. 53.
Yeah, Jackson and Ngigi. He's returning Wolverine.
It's just odd to see a tackle that's shorter than the guard.
Exactly right. Well, I thought by now, like, you'd almost think it's the other way around. And Ngigi would be playing centre, and and the big centre, of course, in Jake Edwards, he's built a more prototypical tackle.
Yeah.
But no, they don't have to. They're not playing the prototypes here. They're playing with whatever works.
Done, yeah.
It's a bobbled snap here, and Ryan's going to have to leg it. Keeps his eyes downfield, finds Chariot. Chariot,
out of bounds.
Thought he was gone, but gets a toe on the sideline. But good heads-up play there from Ryan.
Great job by the quarterback to recover and then to pick the ball up and deliver.
And as the floor of quarterbacking talent at the national level or the state level, however you want to refer to it, it's raised considerably from even 6 years ago, 8 years ago.
Absolutely, and the athleticism of young men is never in doubt. The thing that they struggle with the most is understanding the game, and quarterback is the most demanding position on the field because you've got to know everybody's job.
And then have all these different mechanics that are so specific to your position.
Yeah.
You know?
And reading defenses, all that type of thing.
On top of that, usually you can supposed to be the leader of the team as well, so you carry that
Exactly.
burden.
So that's one of the keys. You know, there's you need someone that everyone's going to follow. When he steps into the huddle, everyone's going to listen and believe.
It's actually, two quality quarterbacks on this Wolverines roster. Obviously, Ryan, who's won out the starting job, but also number 11, Mac Heptonstall, who I understand is actually a really good, has really good throwing mechanics, but it might have just been Ryan's leadership that just got him over the line as far as the starting position.
I'm sure it is, yeah.
They said he's the type of guy who's a little more rah-rah than Heptonstall, and not every quarterback is going to be a vocal guy, but I guess it depends on what your team receives, right? 3-by-1, 3 receivers out to the left, and that's the way that Ryan wants to go, but he's going to have to run for it. Goes downfield, there's that long ball he loves too much, way too long, and that is the danger of sometimes rolling out to your throwing side.
Yeah.
Ball can sail.
Well, yeah, it's not a designed rollout, unfortunately, but pressure from 58 there for Victoria. Dakota Alcaraz.
Yes, indeed, Alcaraz.
Forced him to re-establish his position. So good play by the defense. Great play.
It is a little different when it's by design. You're in your head,
Yeah.
you understand you're rolling out so you can get that backside hip moving forward. A lot of people don't realise that when you're on those rollouts, you kind of effectively want to get your body back in position, so you're almost running forward when you throw it to try and get those hips around so you don't lose torque and the ball doesn't sail. But it's a little more different when you have to do it on the improv fly.
Yeah. So we've got what looks like a blitzer come down now, and then he's dropped back out 21 for Victoria.
There's that ball out to the outside again. Lovely.
And they're giving him a lot of space there.
And I think that's enough to convert. I'm looking at the side judge here. Where is he going to mark it? It's enough for a first. The Wolverines. They've got 1st and 10 inside the 20.
And I think they might come back to this again because that's a little mismatch there in height for the receiver and the DB. 13, I think it was, for Victoria. Jonah Hickleton. So coach will be looking to give him some help, I'm sure. Maybe bring the safety over a tad just to help out with that big receiver.
Yeah, or they might want to play him differently, give him a bit of a bump on the line.
Yeah.
You're hearing some of the locals start to
Locals are filling in
up.
now, yeah.
That's what you want to hear. You have every right to have hometown advantage. And back into under the gun. Is that Streeter back on the field? Yes, it is. Look at that jump cut.
Nice step.
Oh, when he's taken down, I thought he might have been close to the line. The inside pursuit eventually finishes him off, but shows a lot of lightness of foot, particularly once he gets to the outside.
Good footwork there by the left tackle. We're talking about the defense getting an edge and forcing. So right there you saw the left tackle get position on his man and seal him to the inside. So that shows why they've got that shorter guy there playing tackle, because he's got the footwork to make it happen.
Exactly right.
So he's got a different proposition here now. He's got 3 people outside of him. So
He's going to have to listen for that call, make sure he blocks the appropriate person. And they're just going to sneak it.
The middle quarterback.
And there's no call yet. Victoria's done enough to hold them out.
Seems they're just short, yeah.
They were about 3 yards out. I wouldn't be surprised if they line up and run the exact same play.
Thing. Without a huddle, I would have thought would have been a great dynamic to run.
Picked him up a yard. The other option is they go to a quick pass and then go back to that on 3rd down.
So 2nd and goal now for New South Wales. They're threatening as we approach halfway. The halfway mark in the game.
Yeah, we're going to be close to that 2-minute warning.
Have they mentioned anything about the halftime show?
I think it's you and I. And on the show, did you bring your guitar?
Yeah, I got my axe. Got the dancer girls. Got it all going on.
Oh, and this is the Streeter. Streeter's going to lose yardage. Huge play for the Eagles.
Great play there. 34 for
coming down hard. Number 34 in Sione Foliaki.
So that's some of the things where, the experienced quarterbacks come into play, where they check the numbers pre-snap, and they go, well, that play is doomed for disaster.
Yeah, when you want to run open
So
side.
they switch it to an audible,
Yeah, they probably needed someone cracking down or something. Yeah.
which is at another level. Well, you could have a kill play where you go to a second play if you outnumbered at the line like that on the edge. So
It's almost risk reward running the toss at that close to the goal line, isn't it? Because sometimes you can catch those pursuing linemen tangled up in the mess that is.
you can. The only downside though is that the defensive secondary don't have to respect much depth, right? Because
Exactly right.
they've only got to cover the end zone,
So they can play up.
They'll be closer to the line of scrimmage. So that's you're going to have something that draws them out of there. So
We are inside the 2-minute warning. Missed it somewhere along the track there. 1:12 is the current time left in the half.
okay. Well, this is vital for both sides, really, to give New South Wales some momentum going into half time and to give Victoria belief going into half time. So
I think purely on a mental standpoint, if you can score here and then convert and take the lead into half, that's a nice little edge you can take, and it's certainly something that your coaches can sort of sell your players on as well.
yeah.
And with as low scoring as it is, if you can come back from 8-2 and go in with the lead, albeit 2 points,
Absolutely. Yeah.
changes your outcome moving into the second half. There's some of our cameramen, half of our cameramen brought in from local schools around Narrabeen as well.
Right,
We
they're
get
doing
some
a
of the community
fantastic
involved.
job, aren't they?
So yeah, a couple of the Narrabeen high school students getting involved to help the live stream production.
Doing a great job. Coverage is awesome.
Ryan, the trips to the right again. That's to the short side of the field. He's looking over the middle. It might be intercepted. No, it's caught for a touchdown.
Wow, that was an unbelievable
Talk about
catch.
bang bang plays. The Wolverines in for a score.
That was incredible concentration.
Oh, he hasn't even caught it in the end zone. Catching that for a touchdown is big Liam Brown. He caught it about 3 yards short and pushed his way in for 6.
Liam Brown's probably why he's a captain, eh? You can see he's
He needed it.
He's a
Captain's
player.
up there.
yeah, he's going to make some things happen. So just great concentration. I mean, in the middle of all that traffic to come up with the ball and then to fall through into the end zone the way he did is a fantastic job. So this makes this extra point rather interesting.
Well, the question is, are they going extra points? This is the first time we've seen them. They will go for a 2-point conversion.
Yeah.
We saw Queensland exclusively attempt PATs a game ago. 2-point conversion here is the choice of conversion for the Wolverines. Bit of confusion for another. Oh, so much so they might take their final timeout.
Yeah, so it seemed like number 3 was either going to run the ball or be part of the protection. And they had him moving around a bit. He's adjusting for what they see on defense. So that's
A little about.
interesting. So 8-all. I mean, you couldn't ask for any better, could you? So
It's a stark contrast to the first game
Yeah.
so far, which
absolutely.
saw Queensland run out dominant winners over WA.
And Western Australia rebuilding their program.
Yeah,
They've been a dominant team for a lot of years. So
I'm very surprised, and this is a fact. I was very surprised to read this morning that actually, out of all as long as the competition as we know it has existed, which is about 2004, we haven't seen the WA title yet, because the amount of times they've been pipped at the final,
post,
they've been pipped at the final a whole lot of times, both by Queensland and New South
I
Wales.
can tell you, I was involved in a junior nationals where I think we won 6-0.
Yeah, I remember that. Honestly, I was there. I was a competing coach.
Right.
We came in fourth that round, my team. But that was honestly one of the best junior games I've ever watched.
It was incredible.
The schemes, the coaches were at each other. Everyone was competing.
Yeah,
That was a WA game where we had the one touchdown towards the end. I believe it was a touchdown pass,
yeah.
and it was on a rollout. Jeez, that was one of the best junior football games I've ever watched in my entire life, and I've watched quite a few. I'll tell you that, ladies and gentlemen.
It was good to be a part of, actually.
Yeah, going for a 2-point conversion that will break the tie. A bit of confusion here, but he'll get the pass off to an open man. No confusion at all. It was all by design, and catching that 2-point conversion and breaking the deadlock is Jalele Dempsey.
And in fact, he was falling into the end zone as he caught it. Great job. Good concentration there too.
I thought there might have been a bit of confusion here. Maybe there was, but he's done well, Michael Ryan.
Yeah, good job, Michael Ryan. His namesake would be proud.
Yeah, for historian in New South Wales. But yeah, I know that game, and I remember that was the first time our paths crossed there. We ironically, as Queensland did not have to play either the final teams Western Australia or New South Wales.
Yeah.
We ended up playing Victoria, which was the last time they competed in AGL time,
Yeah.
and then took on South Australia twice. And led by then a South Australian quarterback, Simon Whitehead, who's gone off to play some college football.
Yeah, great player, Simon. And a hard worker, good guy.
And just a coachable kid.
Yep.
Coachable man now, we should say. And it's amazing, actually, going through all the team lists. So many of these players, after their time in the AGL, have gone off to do big things stateside. You think the 2017 MVP, Bailey Devine Scott, he went overseas, played some football overseas. Ben Kari, the offensive MVP from Queensland, he's gone off and he's now playing running back, I think somewhere in California. Griff Roberts as well, for the Roberts if they're tuning in. He's competing at a JUCO now, so all the opportunities available to these men right now. And here goes Montel Wick. Montel Wick taken down right on halfway.
He's quite a runner.
A few ticks left and flags
that
thrown.
could be
Oh,
trouble.
look at all these flags.
Could be trouble for 21. I don't think you're allowed to kick people in the head.
Oh, jeez. We're only in day one and look at the discipline flying out the door.
It's normally players that kick the ball, not other players. So I'm pretty sure this will be...
I don't know if we can take a look at that again on the wide, if it's available to us, but looks like number 21. Let's see if we can take a look at it here, Coach. Number 21, you can see him there.
Yep.
He's the one getting... It's Matthew
Okay, he
Tafuna.
got blocked and then he comes in a little late. He comes flying in right then. We missed it. But there was some silliness in that particular play.
We have one player down. I don't know if it was due to whatever these flags could be for.
I don't think it is, actually.
Just completely separate.
Yep. I know that 21 took exception to being blocked earlier on. And
Well, don't be kicking people on the ground.
it's part of the game, getting blocked, So
Here's the situation, though. That's two players potentially ejected, though, depending
possibly,
on the ruling
yeah.
here.
I mean, we'll have to wait and see what the officials say, but that looked...
Let's see if we've got another shot here. Let's see if we can see anything.
That just looked like pretty much blatant kick to the head. After the fact.
Oh, we just miss it, unfortunately. It's just after the play ends. And the player down, though, for the Wolverines. It's 12, I believe. Or maybe it's actually the number 17.
Yeah,
Connor
we got an
Aldridge.
ejection, yeah. So I just saw the official there make the
Yeah, number 17.
ejection signal.
Connor Aldridge. He's walking on there. So Mitch Walner checking on his player. Didn't see an ejection symbol, sorry?
Yeah, I saw an ejection sign.
That's two players ejected then from Victoria.
So Connor Aldridge is, seems to be okay, but a little shaken up. Hey.
And well, he's getting a lot of love at the sideline there. I think he must have copped one heck of a shot.
Yeah, so
And getting the call that it's 35 seconds remaining in this half. Geez, what
Yeah.
more drama could have
right before the
erupt?
half time too, I mean, And that's a shame, that for his teammates and for the
himself,
guy
you-
too, to come
let's-
all the way up here. And,
Well, that's exactly right. And we all know, like, all these players pay a lot
Yeah.
of money here. None of these players are getting paid or
yeah.
have their expenses covered. They might have done some sponsorship stuff, but for the most part, they're paying their own way here.
Playing their own way, and it's a shame that this happens. And just a rush of blood, whatever it is that happens. Actually, I did experience something in the first state game I played against Victoria back in 1984, where one of the Victorian guys disagreed with the referee, so he knocked him out.
That's one way to disagree with a referee. Obviously
The game
not.
was a little different back then, though, in '84. But anyway, that guy got banned for life, as he
rightly
should.
so. But
But
officials treated like that. Jeez.
But you know, sometimes we get a bit, we lose sight of what we're here for, and
Exactly right.
that's to play
To
football.
play
you know.
football. Plenty of football to be played over the next week leading into Easter.
There is. I think it's important for both teams to just make sure they get back to what they're here for,
Exactly right.
and don't lose sight of it, because the wheels can come off very quickly. You know, if you, especially this is sort of living in a fishbowl here with a lot of pressure and a lot of
Oh, and you think about the tension that builds all the way
Yeah.
throughout. You see the teams walking past each other
Yeah.
at the breakfast table, at the dinner table, sizing each other up.
Yeah.
My favourite moments is that first entrance. I saw the way Queensland, WA weighing each other up, saying, "Oh, I wonder what
Yeah.
position that guy plays.
Yeah.
Is he lining up against me?"
We did that. It was interesting. We did that at the World Cup in 1999 in Palermo. We did the same thing. All the teams lined up and were looking at each other.
This time is that Soteropoulos is back, and so is Wick. And there's the first play after all that drama is sorted. You didn't. Did you get the number of the play that was ejected? It was 21, was it?
I think it was, but I'm not 100%
It was
sure.
100 what we think. I'm going to try and skate out the sideline, but it could be Matthew Tafuga. He was a player you saw
Unfortunately,
on
we can't hear what the
screen
officials are saying, so
the point is, you can't kick players when you're down. On a more positive light, you know what I'm loving about this Victoria Eagles uniform?
yeah.
Those big juicy numbers.
Yeah.
Cool as dream. And this is
And that was an interesting handoff.
it wasn't
there.
it's almost like a toss handoff there.
Yeah, that's not a safe way to hand the ball.
No, pick one or the other. You're tossing it to him or you're handing it to him. I know he's a big guy, but he's also your teammate. You
Yeah.
can get in there.
So it looks like New South Wales are pretty fired up after the incidents that happened earlier on, and they're playing tough up the middle, and it looks like it's half time.
Yeah, it looks like they just wanted to try and get that to the clock. But New South Wales sending a statement with those last two tackles. Philly Moautu, the last ball carrier. But after a drama-filled first and second quarter, we come to a close here at a halftime of Game 2, Day 1. With New South Wales Wolverines, the home side, they've got a 2-point margin over the Victorian Eagles in their first game back in the Junior AGL. 10.8 is the scoreline here at halftime. Kenny Andres, Peter Toss Sr. We'll be back with you shortly after we just take a short break here for halftime. Junior AGL, back soon. Hello and welcome back to the second half of Game 2, Day 1 of the Junior AGL here in Narrabeen, New South Wales, home of the Manly Warringah Seagulls from the NRL, but serving as the home to our Junior Nationals here in 2019. I'm Kenny Andres. I'll soon be reunited with Peter Toss Sr. He was just grabbing some liquid, getting the throat lubricated again for another big second half. And just to catch you up with some of the big happenings from the first half, two ejections were seen both on the on behalf of the Gridiron Victoria Eagles. We will no longer be seeing the left tackle in number 54, Isaac Tui, I think it was, as well as number 21, Matthew Tafuga, both ejected for flagrant personal fouls. So they will not be partaking for the rest of this game, and we'll get an update from the tournament directors about how long that will keep them out of participation. But Peter, you back?
Back, ready to rock.
Here we are, kickoff underway. Eagles kicking off to the Wolverines, fielded at the 20. Here comes
Short kickoff once again, which is
Kai Rugersberg, and
Cool.
Can't do much with it. Fields it on the 20 and brings it back to the 20. So 75 yards for the, or shall I say 60 yards for the Wolverines to travel now, of course playing on a 90-yard field.
and the big positive for them, of course, is having first possession after half time. So
Especially after getting the lead.
yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how they go here, whether they can build on that. Also, it's a shame to see a couple of young fellas out, for the Victorian side. So it will, obviously not have those guys available for the second half. So coaches will be doing some switching around and some substituting.
And Michael Ryan through for the lone touchdown for the Wolverines in the first half. Both passing touchdowns.
Two backs in the backfield this time.
And here comes Michael Ryan again getting the sideline signals. He'll hand it off to Rugersberg again. He does a good job. Picks up a good handful of yards, and that'll bring up second down for the Wolverines.
Yeah, those little guys are hard to see when they get in there amongst the line of scrimmage. So that's part of the problem, I think, for these big Victorians, that they can't see this little fella.
Liam Brown was the touchdown scorer for the Wolverines in the first half. Thrown by Michael Ryan. For the Eagles, it was Soteropoulos passing out to Maksutov on a nice corner pattern. And they converted. They picked up a safety as well to lead. New South Wales, I should say, picked up a safety, which gave them the 2-point lead. Ryan, it looks like it'll be another carry here for Rugersberg. And now more flags.
Flag flies.
Been the common theme for this game.
So I think it'll be a first down if the play stands.
Trying to see what happened. Face mask.
Face mask, yeah.
That one's clear
Okay,
as
so it'll
day.
definitely be a first down, I'd say, if that is the penalty.
So once again, continuing Kenny's education of those new to the game. That big mask in front of the players' faces attached to their helmet, that's called the face mask. It cannot be grabbed, and doing so, offensively or defensively, will result in a 15-yard penalty if enforced.
However, you did see the running back. It was a false start on New South Wales. They're offsetting penalties. Okay.
Well,
That seems a bit odd, doesn't it? That
Yeah.
a face masking penalty is equal to a false start.
Yeah, it doesn't
But
quite
anyway.
offset, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. So you would have seen the running back there fending off the tackler. So he didn't close his hand on the face mask of the tackler, so that's just the difference.
Yeah, that is the one exception. Once upon a time, we had 5 yards and 15-yard variants
Yeah.
of the face mask. Eventually, they said, "Nope, we're just going to discourage touching the face mask." Period.
Yeah.
To
So-
get a muffed exchange. Thought for a
So-
second Victoria got on it, but that's not the case.
So once again, the mesh point is not working here for New South Wales.
And especially
And, the quarterback really could help himself by putting the ball out over his back foot and having that ride, that period of flow where he's moving the same direction as the running back. So there you could see him trying to reach for the handoff. So
Well, with more and more teams employing certain aspects of the RPO, run pass options, that exchange is getting messier and messier.
it is.
Third down now, a long 5 separating them from a first down. They will try to get it on the ground, and that's where they'll
Got
get
that
it.
and more than look at
Cameron
it, yeah.
Streeter shoots forward for a first down.
So the mesh worked a little better there. You'll see that the running back took more of a lateral movement before he started getting into the line of scrimmage. So quite often they'll build that into the running back's path as a little slide step to close that gap.
And it's just me or the Wolverines playing with some pretty wide splits in their offensive line.
Yeah, I think
A lot of confidence there.
well, if you play with wide splits, it means the defense has to play wide as well. So
It's method to the man. In motion is Mauer, and they'll give it to Streeter once more, this time testing the left side of the defense. Bunch of havoc. Streeter spins and turns and picks up 6 yards.
So we isolate our left tackle, and we can see there that he had no one over him. So they're going to go that direction for sure.
Attacking the defense in a couple different ways on the ground now, aren't they?
Yeah. And that's what this jet sweep type deal will do. They'll attack the middle, and then they'll have counters to that. So the dynamic of it, of course, coming back into the middle, play action, it opens up a lot of possibilities.
They had 4 on the line, only sending 3. Victoria looking
That's,
for pass in the flat. He's got it, and he'll take it down at the 40. Number 25, Liam Brown, collecting another reception. Some might be asking, why didn't he keep running? Well, under IFAF rulings, International Federation of American Football, which we are constituted under, as soon as any part of your body that is not the palm of your hands or the sole of your feet touches the grass, you are constituted as tackled. This is a real clash of big men, both of these two lines.
Yeah.
Got a D line of Victoria, and plenty of meat there for the Wolverines.
There is,
on the
however,
side.
if you look along the Victorians' front line there's 3 down linemen.
Oh, a bit of misdirection now. Keeper here for Ryan. Ryan, who's noted as a good but not great athlete, can do enough to hurt you on the ground on some of these design keepers. I want to get
Needs
that
to carry the ball
ball in the other arm. Fundamentals will never leave us.
But we're being picky.
Well, he doesn't quite get enough for the first down, however. And that leaves them with a decision here. Streeter's coming off the field. In comes the power back in Naliwabau. Another 2x2 split. A tight end almost actually on the line now. And they'll give it to the big man. Can he get forward? He's utilising his line. I think he's short though, Victoria.
I think it'll be a turnover.
They've turned them away. I saw the celebration there.
So a good stand by Victoria. Knifing in there. 24 and 20, I think, from Victoria there, knifing in early. Taking away some of the options for the running back.
Kenny Liu. For Victorians. I'm keen to watch him on special teams. He's, from what I understand, he's the sort of, the loose screw you have in your defense. They say every toolbox needs a hammer.
Yeah.
He's their hammer.
Ah.
They said when he's flying down on special teams, look, honestly speaking, there's a 50-50 chance he's going to light someone up or maybe get ejected. But you need a couple of those. Some patient running here by Wick. Now, everyone in the NFL talks about a certain back who's now returning to the NFL named Le'Veon Bell, and I'm impressed about his patience and the way that he just sort of skips and jives and waits for the opportunity. I've always wondered, that looked very similar to how a lot of the running backs in Australia run, because of a lot of their rugby league background, obviously assessing what's in front of them. And you look at somewhere the way that almost all the running backs from each state now so far have run, that run with that sort of patience.
They do, yeah.
It's they think it's really, really strange by Le'Veon Bell, but quite frankly, that's how we've been running the ball for a long time.
Yeah, it is. I guess, it's a flyover from the old power days.
Where you just hit the hole as hard as you can.
Yeah.
Here's an example of that right now.
Yeah, and that's a big push right there.
Oh, look at him still going.
However, there may have been a turnover.
Stripped the ball here, getting
New
up.
South Wales believe they've got the ball.
Is Zach Fernley pumped up and thinking he's got a turnover. That run went overtime. You've got someone, you can see them already reaching for the ball. And if you ask me, that looks like it's coming out well before any knee touches the ground or any part of the body.
Absolutely. And of course, the officials don't have the luxury of being able to watch
multiple angles and replay.
A replay, yeah. So they've got to make a call on what they see, and they've called.
Well, the defense isn't moving, so they've given it back to Victoria.
Regathered.
I think that's they're saying that forward
contact.
Well, I think what I'm hearing is forward progress was over, which I think was very. I think that's a luxury call for Victoria. They're pretty.
Okay.
I'd argue that there was certainly still some forward momentum going on.
Yeah.
But hey, that's why I'm in here and not out there in stripes. And here we go. Let's press. Oh, they might have called offside. Free play here if he wants to take it. It is a running play to Wick though. Wick's got enough for the first down. Flags are down, and I think
first down
regardless of how they chose to take
the way
it.
we see it.
Well, regardless of how they choose to take it, it looks like it'll be a Victorian first down here.
So we'll see New South Wales are up and into the neutral zone.
Offside on the defence, penalty declined. Result of the play, first down.
Looks like they may have made an extra yard actually with the result of the play. No, just even watching that play there, I'd say keep an eye on number 54, Zach Fernley. The man clearly loves his turnovers. Even then, he almost ripped the ball away.
Yeah. Yeah, so a more traditional approach here to the offense by Victoria, which is proving fruitful for them, marching the ball downfield.
So Taropoulos now back in the air, and fantastic coverage by the Wolverines. Knocking that ball down is Blake Morgan-Monk.
Yeah, they're sweating on that play. So the coaches obviously prepared them. They're saying play action's coming.
Yeah, it was actually a brave decision. That was
good coverage.
He wasn't even baiting him. He was on him the entire way.
Yeah.
Second down and 10. 6:05 left in the third. So another condensed spread formation. And a nice little hitch route. That's a couple of yards.
Yeah, he's good height there. Connor Boyd, the receiver there, able to get up and bring that down.
He's another guy that Coach Noonan said has the ability to sort of catch a lot of passes underneath.
Yeah, a bit of a mismatch there in size, I think. Definitely in height, anyway. So that's a good thing now. Victoria getting their short passing game going. So teeing that up with a power running game, and anything's possible.
Solid recipe for success. 3rd and 2 now, though. They'll
Fullback
give this
once
to...
again. I just wonder whether they might go to an option at some time, because we always seem to have the quarterback and tailback.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
really setting it
running,
up.
Sort of option routes.
Philly Moiatu has been trusted to try to get those short yardage downs quite a few times now.
Yeah.
Can't be long before they try to take out to the outside with the option.
Yeah, I just wonder what would happen if he pulled the ball and went to the next level with it. It'd be interesting.
A lot of these teams are willing to roll with much tighter wide receiver splits.
Yeah.
You know, I think really helps with a short passing game, and the quarterback doesn't have to push that ball nearly as long. Here
There
they
you
go
go.
with the option, but it's a new back.
Well, imagine that.
It's defended well once again by number 20 and Morgan Monk again.
Yeah. So the option, creates a division amongst the defence, so that everyone has to play responsibility football. So in that case, New South Wales are up to the task, and everyone had their man numbered up, so it worked well.
Nice, and that's Jonah Hickleton getting amongst the ball carrying action now.
Yeah.
Yes. 2nd and 8. Victoria more than happy to take their time moving down the field right now.
Yeah, ball control, It seems to be their way about it. I mean, there's only 2 points in it, so
Exactly, so
if they score here, then that puts pressure on New South Wales to score, so that's not a bad way to do things.
oh, it's a bad snap over the head of Soteropoulos.
That's not great, though.
And he's taken down, collecting another big play in the backfield is Zach McCary. He's the one who started our day,
Yeah.
taking down Soteropoulos.
Well, that's unfortunate, but because they're just building some momentum, and now they're working from behind the sticks. Good play by New South Wales defence. But this is always the thing that happens with shotgun. It can go awry very quickly.
100%. On screen right now, we're just acknowledging some of the guys who've come down from Forest High School. Andrew Elworth operating one of our cameras there, and take a look. And there is Dale Spellman, another one of the guys, one of the Year 11 students from Forest High School, helping us out here in the AGL. So shout out to those lads and Forest High School for allowing them to participate.
Doing a fantastic job too.
3rd and 22. Now they do have the option to try to get this in 2 different chunks here.
Yep. So
Soteropoulos.
try to get it all in one go.
That's exactly what we're going to try and do. The pass goes in the middle. It
That
sails.
was incidental contact, I would say, on that receiver. It
I
was-
would tend to agree with you, but try convincing the Victorian staff amongst that. The whole sideline up in arms.
They got their feet tangled up there. It was a good play to go to. Just unfortunate.
And starting to happen now as we're seeing some of the GV stuff there, but we're at the point now, we're seeing enough football now, we start seeing how do we think other teams would match up with the rest of the teams now, not forgetting that we're under a pool system here, so there's Pool A and Pool B now with Queensland, I think South Australia and Western Australia in one pool, New South Wales, Victoria and the All-Stars in the other. The winner of each pool will be playing in the grand final.
Yep.
The national title game. And okay, it's fielded here at his own one. Interesting decision by number 5, Damon Rowland, who's an experienced player. He takes it back to his credit beyond the 10, but I would have considered leaving that go.
Yeah.
Fielded at the 6.
Yeah. Well, he fielded it at almost the 4, so
To be fair, with the way that angle's coming back, you could say there was going to be a
he
bad
probably
bounce.
didn't
So.
want to take a chance on it. And if the guy scores, we think he's a genius. So
Yeah, exactly right. Or at least think he's hella athletic.
sometimes you gotta trust your players to do it, and sometimes some days are diamonds, but
Some days he rocks. That one wasn't too bad. ultimately, no harm, no done. No harm, no foul.
So once again, the back's quite deep there, but look at it.
And it's once again back to number 3, Ethan Nalawabau. And it's
See, 99, he's going to eat that up all day. He's got 3 seconds to fight off the block and get to the...
Take a look at him, and I think he'll happily do that. Look at he blows.
So
it
he gets
up.
separation. Just jacks up his blocker, gets separation. And he's got enough time to get across. I think the key would be to bring the running back up a little tighter into the line.
But geez, not only you see the strength on that play, but at full extension, you see he's got significant reach as well there.
Exactly.
I'll tell you what, I'm no scout. I'm certainly not part of the staff, but
I think
Finn
Coach
Hazel
Rowe will be
poking on.
jotting his name down.
I think he's got a dot next to his name. 2nd and 8. Ryan hands off again. Streeter's back in the game. He cops a shot at the line of scrimmage and maybe gets it back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, not much of a gain there.
Yeah, we're at a bit of a lull right now. Both teams sort of going back into their shell.
Yeah, and this is where the game can be won or lost right here. So it's who's going to step up,
Sometimes you're just waiting for one of these teams just to say, hey, we're going to take a shot play while things are quiet, or a trick play if they've got one in the bag.
Yeah.
And I think we had a timeout here. Let's see some more of the Victorian coaching stuff.
So later on this afternoon, we've got the All-Stars versus South Australia.
That we do. And just to remind everyone, the All-Stars, it's a team made up of the contingent from North Queensland, Tasmania and ACT, and all of which, those 3 states, meeting each other for the first time yesterday.
Yeah, incredible.
They've been obviously coaching by correspondence the best they can, uploading the same playbooks. Both positional coaches contacting all their relevant players across the 3 different states, and checking in with each other and making sure they can try to understand the best they can on paper, and hopefully speed up the process when they come together yesterday for the first time in their very first scrimmage. So at this point, they don't know who their starters were going to be. It was who fit in the best, who could learn the quickest. But that being said, didn't come away with a victory last time. This is the second tournament this has been done with the 3 teams coming in, but they certainly weren't there to make up the numbers. They competed, and they pushed WA really close. They struggled against Queensland, but I think a lot of the teams did. Yeah. And even against New South Wales weren't too bad. So, and South Australia, they were a whisker from picking up their first win. So
yes. So a big shout out to everyone from North Queensland that are involved in the sport up there. And also in Tasmania, I was lucky enough to go to Tasmania last year and do some coaching down there on a clinic, and it's just great to see the enthusiasm and the sport grow that way. Yep. Good luck to all you guys out there, and hopefully you guys that are in this competition can take something back.
Long, looking long, throwing long, and incomplete.
Yeah,
and
that could have gone either way with that flag that or not. Unfortunately, number 7 wasn't looking back at the ball. He might have got away with something had he been looking back at the ball.
Jack Bell, this is the little mini debate myself and Coach Hollywood got into earlier about
defensive pass interference, number 7, Victoria, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Should be added by not looking at the ball. I think you would at least pretend like but he's a man by the rule book, and he says unless they're physically impeded, it's not a PI. I could argue both happened on that situation.
Yeah. Well, he definitely wasn't looking back as the ball arrived. So
New South Wales receiver did himself all the favours by being in position, looking back at the ball, and doing everything to show that he was fighting to get back for the ball. So
yeah, absolutely.
The coverage was Jack Bell on that particular play. Michael Ryan trips out to the left. Short side of the field. And they'll give this back to Nalu Wabau. They've not been afraid to make him the bell cow here in the second half.
Yeah, Victoria's defence equal to the task there. Probably a loss of a yard or maybe no gain. So 99 is really creating problems for New South Wales in that he's forcing the double team on every play, which means it gives his other teammates a chance to beat their one-on-one blocks.
The next stage for him is find a way to beat the double team and
Yeah.
get the job done anyway. But it's a huge testament when you can suck up or command a double team every play. There he is, double teamed again.
Oh, he was double teamed.
Oh, and this
to
pass
no effect.
has been batted down. I thought for a second that he might have knocked the ball out of his hand because the ball just left the hand with so much vigor.
Yeah.
But it looks like it's just been batted down.
So nobody blocked 99 on that one, or no one really made an attempt. But anyway.
Well, it was a quick game. They were trying to back the quarterback to get it out. I'll ask in your time, obviously, as we're talking about as we look at more replays and as we've been tooting Finn's name, you've worked with dominant linemen in your time. Who would you put up there as some of your all-time monstrous D linemen?
Well, you know, Adam Gotsis came to American Samoa with this. He's up there. I mean, back in the day, there was a lot of really good linemen because that's all we had.
We had a lot of big men.
Yeah. We didn't have a lot of skilled players back then, or a lot of them. We did have great players, you know, but...
coaching was still developing about it?
Yeah, Coach Manera, you know, Paul Manera. I was lucky enough to play against him and with him.
Deep pass, it would have been a spectacular grab. Unfortunately, it was 2 yards outside of the field of play. But we got a couple of flags back down where the ball was thrown.
Holding on the offense, number 53, 10-yard penalty, repeat, third down. Oh, sorry, that penalty will be declined. Fourth down.
Probably shooting themselves in the foot here, starting off with not great field position and then getting penalties as well.
And
yeah, Paul Manera, obviously, you know, went and had a great college career and come back and has done a lot for the sport. He was a very good lineman. Charlie Close is another guy that I played with who was just phenomenal athlete in any position. There's so many of them, honestly. It would be rude not to mention them all, but
it's only so
I'm
many
old now, I can't remember.
You've been through a lot of them,
but
coaching and
there's been
playing.
a stack of them, and you know, from all states, really.
Yeah, I feel like almost we're at the point now where every state has got one big guy they're real proud of.
Yeah.
We're going to see.
I know
after
that
all that time, though, we're seeing another timeout now. I think for Victoria's sideline.
In 2000, we took a team over to Texas and did a tour. The Wolverines took a team over there. There was some players that have come out of that tour that have been, who are now sort of instrumental in the game, you know, that were around back then, have gone on to have great careers. So, and like I said, all of them deserve a mention, so I won't mention one of them, but I think that, you know, representative teams and particularly nationals are a great tool for developing that. And also we had the Future Stars program running a while back, which sort of had a great number of players come through the program, and the beauty of that was we had coaches come over and go into camp with us, and US coaches, and coach our coaches as well as the players. So, which
I think is honestly huge, because they're only here for a certain amount of time, and yes, they can do some real good stuff, but when you can leave that, you know, that brilliance with people to pass on, that's where some real development can happen. Patient punt sent off, almost too patient. It's going to land, I think...
Take a bad bounce? What do we say about special teams?
Well, on top of that, I was just about to mention, just as that ball's going up, I felt a breeze come just behind us here. It's been caught in the air, and he's picked up maybe a grand total of about 7 yards with that punt.
Wow. So this is interesting now. So we see the field position. Good field position for Victoria here.
So different. Look at all the. It's always
There's
interesting.
a lot of walking around. We're
But
back
say
in the action.
this game, I know we had a running clock in the second half of the first game, but I'll tell you what, this game's pace is awfully slower than the
Yeah.
first game.
And these spread teams normally want to work fast. you know.
Usually. This time an I formation. Wick's back in the game. Takes it forward. Hasn't had a chance
Gain
to
of
be
a couple
sprung
of
through.
yards, eh?
Yeah, but I tell you what, he hasn't been tackled behind the line of scrimmage yet.
No.
Two plugs forward there, and
71 did a good job there of fighting off his block. He got some penetration, just needs to get down the line a little quicker.
that's what I love about having former linemen and former lineman coaches in the booth with me, mate. They live love to the men who deserve it. Never get mentioned.
That's it. The big fellas, they win or lose the games for you.
Hog mollies. Soteropoulos examines the defense, seeing where he can find a weakness. There's two receivers to his right, two backs in the backfield with him, plus the tight end. Short drop off his back foot. He's got someone deep, and he's got a
That's
grab.
a
He stops just short of the end zone. He stopped on the one, in fact, and that is Jalele Dempsey again.
Well, it looks like everybody's just split the coverage there. And everyone wanted to watch him catch it. And then tackle him after he caught it. So that's a great play there by Victoria.
Getting behind the coverage of
Just
number 10, and my
splitting it
apologies,
there.
I've switched up team list. A big call there. It's actually Kieran Turner, my apologies. Number 1.
Number 1 for a reason, eh?
Yeah, I've got one job, and that's to get the names right.
But I
Gotta
mean,
get that
Kieran
right.
Turner is number 1 for a reason.
Yeah, making plays like
So
that.
power play here, and Victoria are in
They finish it off. Victoria regain the lead.
with their power running game. 23. Javel.
Yeah, punching it in for Victoria. Javille Filimoatu, the fullback who's been trusted with, a fullback's dream amount of carries.
Yeah,
He really is just an alternative running back, isn't he? But he lines up.
he is. Yeah, and I
Little
think
offset.
that the beauty of that is that of course the option is what can come out of that. With the quarterback and the tailback, because they're sort of spectators.
It's almost
once
like
they get the ball.
it's almost like a throwback to the wishbone days, isn't
Yeah.
it? Like some of the power ice.
Yeah, the eye. Yeah.
And Montel Wick didn't do a thing on
Yeah.
that play.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. So that, at least if they were to run some sort of option action,
You've got to try and sell something.
yeah, some sort. Will at least keep one of the linebackers
Exactly
out of play.
right. Yeah.
You know?
Not that I mean, Victoria got, New South Wales got extreme pressure there, so maybe it wouldn't have done anything, but maybe consider
Exactly.
doing something to help sell that next time.
But yeah, the next team you play, it might make a difference. So yeah, so that was a good drive there by Victoria and a great catch, splitting the coverage. The hardest thing about playing defensive back is learning to attack the ball. I think,
Yeah.
because they tend to want to defend, whereas
Forgetting that it's
when
an
the ball's in
opportunity.
the air, it could be yours. you
Yeah,
know?
no, I think I'm trying to think which of the coaches. I can't remember if it was Noonan or in fact Coach Bose, who was having a chat with me and saying that one of the biggest things they're trying to tell their DBs is to remind themselves once the ball's in the air, you're a receiver again.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, you don't have to let them catch it. So that's good now. I mean, it's great to see Victoria fight back from losing a couple of players and, being in a tough spot there to be leading the game now. So 14-10 for
Still,
Victoria.
it's just been possession after possession. The Wolverines. Let's see if they get a little more aggressive with their play calling now.
Yeah.
Once again they kind of lulled everyone in before sending someone deep, and that's where they got that big play that they needed.
The other good thing is that it means that New South Wales has to score more than a field goal.
Which they
Because 3 points won't get it for them.
prove they're more than happy to take. Back returning is Ryan Mulvaney.
Good step, puts his foot in the ground, beats one tackle, fights through a couple of others.
And more flags.
during the return, blocking the back on the return team number 19. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down.
Blocking the back for New South Wales. Unfortunately, Jonah Hickleton.
Oh, I don't think.
No,
New South
I've got
Wales,
the
Connor
wrong
Moore,
team.
yeah. No, don't trust me, we're doing the same thing.
Okay. Connor Mayer, is it?
Yeah. Is it Mayer? Do you know personally at all? Mayer? Moore?
I don't know. No, I don't.
Moore?
Don't know.
Be popping in to have a chat with all the coaches and the some of the players tomorrow night. And I'll be able to get some of these.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, you'll be able to get the,
I imagine you'll be back on the Central Coast, mate.
I'll be back in God's country.
I'll be popping in and make sure I get, getting a little more insight on some of the teams and making sure I get some of these pronunciations correct.
Yeah.
And taking a carry there, I think, was...
So New South Wales
Sherry?
persisting with their trips look and running up the middle.
That's another Webber, sorry, again. Taking control.
Yeah, he's just beating his block at the line of scrimmage. And
Second and 13 after loss of yardage on the first down carry. They'll look to the left flat again. Our cameras have lost it, and it looks like he's been taken down. We'll have to wait for the replay
was
here.
The ball battered down. It was hard to
Someone's
see.
lost a helmet. Oh, he's
okay.
completely just
Yeah.
popped out the back pocket.
A bit of a misfire there.
That's it. It's the world's worst unintentional Statue of Liberty play.
Yeah.
Well, that's,
I don't think they practiced that one.
not like that anyway. We've also got flags because, that's the way the game's been going. And, yeah, we can't even blame you on that one there. It's been a pretty dry morning, a bit overcast.
I think, being in that field position, puts a lot of pressure on everyone. Particularly the quarterback. He's trying to get rid of the ball, and in his haste, maybe just didn't get a good grip on the ball.
No reason nowadays in the NFL when they're scouting players, hand size is such a big thing, particularly for the colder states.
Yeah, boy, they go to some ridiculous levels, don't they?
Seen many a quarterback get knocked down a couple draft places
Yeah.
because they've had small hands or
Yeah, loads are too big.
Holding on the offence, the right tackle. That penalty will be declined. New South Wales ball, third down. Time out.
So they got a holding call on that particular play, and looks like someone's called a timeout. So at this point, I'm sure that the coaches from New South Wales are saying, "Look, boys, this is what we practice for. Is right here, is being able to move the ball in this situation."
There's still plenty of time, 7:22
Yeah,
left here, but
it's
you do
just
want
the
to
field position is such an important thing.
exactly
right.
right. You just get the feeling that the first team to go up by 2 possessions, that'll be enough, right?
Yeah.
So you get nervous anytime you don't score back that
Yeah.
you're given the opportunity to put the game away. We have a couple of the linemen doing some quick arithmetic on the sideline.
Yeah. So then what I did was I grabbed this guy, and then I just beat this, and I did this, and I swung him.
See, I'm thinking he's doing some real crazy mathematical equations on the sideline. He looks like an academic to me.
Good to see the chain crew there, and looks like Paul Manera is going to help the chain crew.
I was about to say the chain crews we've been getting over the
All-stars.
past games have been the most overqualified chain crews we've seen around. And look, we might be seeing a change of quarterback here. Getting
number
warmed up
11
is
warming
Max
up on the sideline.
Heptonstall. As we said, he's got all the physical goods for it.
And he's got Max as a name. I mean, that's awesome, right?
Well, we've seen some real good quarterback names of the
Yeah.
Western Australian quarterback, Marcus Westlake.
Wow.
That sounds like a starting quarterback if I've ever heard one.
Yeah.
Gorkawat Chapari.
Wow.
Yeah, Kanan Tompkins.
Here we
Another
go.
here for long throwing into double coverage.
Oh, it just
and
didn't-
he's intercepted. The Victorian Eagles have tipped the ball to each other.
Wow.
And
Great play on defence there.
well, there's
Just
that
seem to
field
put a little
position.
too much air under this one. I don't know whether the grip is something that's bothering him right here because,
Yeah,
that-
exactly right.
he
That's
didn't put it out in front at all. And when you watch the ball come out of his hand, it just doesn't look right.
well, I think the situation's he's seen his man open the sideline, so he's just trying to get it over.
Yeah.
But he didn't get enough pepper in it, so it's gone vertical, but hasn't quite covered the area needed.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
now
no,
Victoria,
distance.
they have a chance here to put
They
this
do.
ball
This
away.
could be a vital turnover right here. Well, I think any turnover is vital, but in particular, they're up by 4 here. That'll make the task even bigger for New South Wales. So,
Well, especially New South Wales have not proven to be able to strike quickly.
yeah.
You know, it almost feels like you need 5 minutes to score. Montel Wick.
And they're playing a very lateral game, New South Wales, so they're not making chunks of ground, you know. So I'd say that kid's probably hurt his shoulder there, right?
Someone cleaned up there, but seems like we're okay. Touch wood, and I'll probably put the mocker in there. Haven't had to call an ambulance yet.
Yeah, oh, we don't do that. Just saying, yeah, that's one of the things that happens when you put your head down.
First and 7, Soteropoulos.
So this is an interesting front we've got here by New South Wales. I mean, where they've come with the ball is just they're able to make up for that actually with the way they flow to the ball. But it's an odd front, isn't it?
Yeah, and not in the odd, as an odd verse, even front. Just saying peculiar.
Strange, weird. It worked on that occasion because everyone run fit still works. So
That's what probably a lot of viewers at home don't realise, that the defensive side of the ball is just as meticulous as the defensive side. You know,
Yeah.
as a player, you have different assignments, whether it's run to or run away, about how you need to fill a certain gap, where you need to run to, depending on a
Yep.
certain play, and then that's not even getting into pass coverage.
yeah,
You know, there's about 3 different ways you can attack a run depending on
true.
the style of the run coming at you.
Yeah, it's just the attitude you play with. This is a little different on defense sometimes,
Yeah.
but it's still just as important to know your job.
So it's using motion. They're going over
There's
the
a
middle
pick.
again. Here's another pick.
Yeah.
Another turnover. Did he stay in bounds? I'm
Yeah.
looking for a
So
signal.
New South Wales should get the ball at.
That's intriguing. I mean, to be honest, maybe you thought he was going for the safe pick. That's a replay of the previous play, but
Yeah,
it's a crazy opportunity there. That, yeah, probably the one thing you say to your players coming out of that is, don't turn the ball over.
Yeah.
If we're going to turn this ball over, let's do it at their own one. But
oh, there's a flag there, is there? Is that on
what is
the?
it? Post or pre-turnover?
We'll have to wait and see what that was.
Picking the ball off there is Fifield Faliatua, I think.
After play, delay game on New South Wales, 5-yard penalty, first
The
down.
penalties for delaying game because of the celebration. Eh? Come
Right,
on, we've
so
seen a
he's-
lot worse.
Yeah,
You just see here, he's just trying to float it up to one of his big men. But
yeah, I think he had that. Like, it's just the coverage was too good. So luckily, he needs to have 1 foot in.
Yep.
So
under IFAF ruling, for those who might be wondering out there, if he needs to get a second foot in, 1 foot's good enough under IFAF ruling. Same with NCAA.
yep. So
What that means, because it was in the end zone,
yeah,
they should be coming out back to the 20, but it looks like they're on the
there
10.
was a penalty.
Oh, the
probably.
penalty, of course,
Yeah.
successful celebration. Hence why they're back on the 10. Or the 5 even.
I mean, it's the national championships, but you know, give them a break.
Yeah, let them have some fun. They've been preparing for ages.
As long as they're not, you know,
And he kept the ball. He didn't throw the ball away.
yeah. As long as they're not taunting their opponents, you know. They're
Honestly,
not,
I
you know,
thought
don't agree with that, but
I'll be honest, I thought he looked more surprised, if anything.
yeah, yeah, he did look a bit surprised.
The replay of the previous play. Let's catch that.
So once again, we're
More.
pretty lateral on our attack here on the offense. I just wonder how they go if they got vertical on them a little bit, you know?
Well, I think there might be a little gun shy now after the last intercept.
Maybe, yeah. You know, get down the hashes, run the rails, see how they handle that.
Well, and even so far they've struggled trying to get it outside the numbers. Queensland this morning scored 3 touchdowns throwing verticals on the inside of the field, inside the numbers to their slots.
Yeah.
Maybe that's something that other teams need to sort of pursue here. It means you don't have to throw as long the quarterbacks. And obviously you can still get downfield.
There's a lot of space out there, you know, in between Mike linebacker and you know, the rest of the defenders. You know, I'd be, well, I wouldn't be doing anything. I'm retired.
Look at you still coaching up a stool without even realising it.
But, you know, that might be an area to look at.
Yeah, especially the old 4 verticals play.
Yeah.
Can be used both dink and dunk, but also quite aggressively if the defence lets you.
Yeah. And if you want to run a comeback by the outside guys.
Give yourself an underneath option.
Yeah.
Looks like that's the way they're going now. They've got a bit of a
that's
flood
a
pattern. And
There
taking
we
it. That's a catch there to Ben Shariat.
Nice job, getting vertical.
Calling the plays is Glenn Bowes, taking advantage of the zone defence there.
Running an out by the inside receiver. Vacating 25, taking his coverage deep. So it's a good job.
Well designed play, well called, well executed.
And you have to say that the blocking was pretty good on that play. I mean, you know, to give that amount of time to get that play off. So great job by the O-line there.
Well, it gives them a first down, 1st and 10. 3:28. Time is becoming a factor now. It is only 1 touchdown difference, 4 points
Yeah.
to be specific, but time is ticking down almost at the 3-minute mark. Pressured! Got the ball away, incomplete. Coming off the edge was that man, Finn Hazel Polkinghorn. We're going to have to shorten it down to FHP, I think.
Yeah. FHP coming off coming up from a 3 technique and
Look at the way he used those hands as well.
yeah. And you really need to activate your feet as a guard, you know, like.
You would have liked it. Everyone talks about the
Illegal formation on the offense. Penalties declined. 2nd down.
Formation on the offense, but the penalties declined. But yeah, the way he minimises his movement there, like you don't use it any more movement than he has to. Keeps it nice and tight.
Yeah.
Pressures the quarterback. I dare say it. The NFL comparison to him was Joey Bosa, and as a Chargers fan, it's not too it's not a bad one. Here he goes again. This time slicing up the middle creating
screen.
more havoc. They get the middle screen, and he's gone.
He's broken a couple of tackles.
Look at him still go. We've seen him return throughout the day, but getting involved in the offensive side now is number 30, Ryan Mulvaney.
Yeah, and he made that first down on his own. I mean, he had a lot of work to do once he caught the ball. Yeah, it was a good play call. But he still had to beat a couple of people to get there and fight through some tackles.
Well, you'd hope so. He certainly knows about breaking tackle. He's a rep rugby league player. I think he's one of in the uni rep team, the UNSW possibly, and considered one of the best athletes no matter what sport he's picked up so far.
Wow.
Under pressure, it's Hepsonstall, the change at quarterback. Welcome to the AGL, son.
Yeah.
And guess who that's courtesy by?
Yeah.
FHP.
There you go. FHP with another one. He's just got great speed, great get-off speed. He's got a long stance. He can take you on. He can engage you and keep you long.
And well, we saw him earlier come pressure off the edge. Now they've moved him interior to try and get a mismatch with some of the slower guards.
Yeah.
He's going to come off for a breather now, but that's an advantage when you have a guy you can just move up and down the line looking for a matchup.
To be perfectly honest, I think he could pretty well operate from anywhere on that.
I think so too.
On that D line with his, like I say, with his get-off speed, his ability to play long.
He's long enough to play in the 5 tech. He's strong enough to play in the 1 or over a guard.
And he gets past that point of no return for an O-lineman very quickly. So the O-lineman, the only thing they can do is activate their feet. They need to have quicker feet in this situation.
I tell you what, I got given a lot of hype of this young man, Finn Hazel-Pognon, leading into this tournament. And I'll tell you what, he's so far fitting the bill.
Yeah, he is. He's playing well.
As I said, a couple teams now always harping up at least one big man on their line. You know, we saw Victorian Toffee allow in Queensland this morning.
Yeah.
Wreak some havoc for Victoria, obviously FHP. On the other side of the ball, what's his name? Number 99, Denzel Banaba, has rocked up for New South Wales. So more and more as a sport lifts its profile, we're seeing some of these guys who are great in other sports come and find a home here. So not only are we just getting big guys now, we're getting big athletes now.
Yeah, we're getting good. You know, not all the football codes suit everybody, you know.
Exactly
so
right.
there's a home for a lot of people in American football, that's for sure.
And we're seeing a timeout to Victoria, and I swear oh no, they've got one left. I thought they might have been out of timeouts. Both teams now down to one timeout, 2 minutes 16 remaining. That last sack from Hazel-Pognon.
It's here to win now for New South Wales and Victoria, obviously.
I'd argue Victoria right now in the driver's seat, second and 21.
They are in the driver's seat, absolutely.
They know what they need to do here. Given the situation, you know, the percentage definitely flows more into the passing game. So.
Yep. And not too many people have been tested in the passing game today, so it'll be interesting to see what happens here.
Well, let's see. Connor Marr, I think, might be the quickest player on this Wolverines outside attack game. You know, he's supposed to be the burner of this team. Let's see if they just let him fly and see if they can get it to him.
Yeah.
But Hepsonstall, not the most pleasant introduction to the junior AGL, getting a snap and getting drilled.
Yeah.
Trying to look for the number 11, if he stayed in there. Yes, he has. Using the shotgun now. See what he can generate. See if he can create a match-winning moment. And I'll tell you what, just got a lot harder. Mulvaney in the slot, jumping too early.
Just goes to show them that.
I don't know, you haven't coached as many wide receivers as some of my other commentary.
By snap, false start, number 30 on the offense.
One of the most frustrating things for receiver coaches, watch the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, eyes in at the ball. it's don't listen to the call, watch the ball. So it does happen, but well, you know, hopefully you'll learn from that. Hopefully that won't cost him too much.
2:16.
He's going to have to make up for that now with a big catch.
We might see a pretty quick turnover. Our next game is technically supposed to start in 15 minutes. South Australia versus the All-Stars, but this game is definitely dragged out.
Yeah, we've got everyone starting.
I think this might be another false start.
Bit of a mix-up with the cadence now. Well, a different quarterback does that sometimes, doesn't it?
Exactly right.
By the snap, false start on the offense, number 77 and 76.
Bit of a quieter
5-yard penalty, repeat, second down.
Don't know if that affects his cadence or not. I've seen some pretty introverted quarterbacks give some pretty mean cadences all the time.
Yeah, they become another person. Yeah. But it definitely needs to take charge right here.
Well, this is his chance to.
And you know what a great opportunity right here.
Exactly right. Take it.
Chance to win the game right here.
Mulvaney taken as soon as he catches it, and Hepsonstall's also taken out of the backfield by FHP. I think he might be booked for a flag here. So probably not in the way that they wanted to, but they'll be getting up the field for 15 yards. Keep an eye on that 99 jersey.
Wow.
Well, they're going to penalise him. He got cop blocked there and fell into the quarterback. That's what he's trying to argue, and I think he's got a case. But
Rushing the passer on the defense, number 99. Be 15 yards. Added to the end of the play. Automatic first down.
Number one thing, I think that's been a focus over the last couple of years. So, but you know, asking a running back to block that guy,
it's a big ask.
At least get into the line of scrimmage, you know, where you can make a block rather than standing 6 yards deep. You know, 99 could reach over him anyway. Yeah.
Exactly right. A situation back when I had to block a one Jesse Williams, exact same thing happened. Even though I got first position, he's just standing over the top of me anyway.
Yeah.
Low snap for
Snap was a little
Hepsistall.
dodgy.
He's evaded the pressure. FHP is
running.
pursuing him. He's
There he
running for
was.
his life, and he's taking him down. Won't count as a sack, but it will be a tackle at the
Tell you what.
line.
He could well be man of the match, 99. I mean, that effort there at this part of the game after, chasing down a skill position like that, that's an excellent effort.
And this time it's
Fights off two blockers.
this time once again.
Chases the quarterback.
Did he almost? I barely
I don't know
touched
if
him.
he-
I think.
yeah, I know.
I think just
He
the
scared him
force of him
over.
just knocked him over. That was
We're gonna see-
freaky.
We're going to see a quick replay of this. That's how good he is. He doesn't even have to touch him to tackle him.
We try and sneak this in before live action, but I don't think he actually makes contact. He doesn't, but he makes him look back, which makes him lose his footing.
See? That's how good that guy is.
Oh, wow. That is one of the plays of the tournament.
Uh-oh.
Another bad snap.
And now we've snapped it to the wrong dude.
And this time it's Cameron Streeter collecting the mess. And I will correct myself. Apparently I have been confusing number 27, Luke Hawkins, another running back for Streeter. 26, 27. Two running backs built pretty similarly.
Yeah.
My apologies.
That was sort of like the mousetrap in rugby league.
Oh, gee, we don't see enough of that, mate. Don't me started on that. I think every game should feature a mousetrap. Then I'm pushing a scrum, but what do I know?
So they've seen have they changed centres?
No,
New
it's-
South Wales.
I think it's still Jake Edwards, but you're right. I think that's a different helmet. And it's a big, deep drop for Hepsistall.
Wow.
He almost
jump
connects.
pass. Wow.
Yeah, well, I don't think he wanted to. I think he was trying to get to a 7-step drop, but had to throw it on his 6th.
Broadway Joe.
Big.
That's awesome.
And that was correct there. Apologies to
Okay, a
Hawkins.
quarterback here. You'll see him just as about to pass the ball. He jumps and throws it. That's how they used to play back in the day.
The old
When men were men.
the Johnny Unitas days.
Yeah.
And,
Well, he had a chance to catch it. So,
I've certainly seen a lot worse attempts to be caught than that. So.
yeah.
1 minute and 9 seconds, 4th and 15. This is by far most the biggest player of the game.
FHP. Remember that name, folks.
If he's not double teamed at this point. Hold on,
So
must be
New
triple
South
team.
Wales, there's only a minute on the clock, and they even a field goal can't help them here. So to win the game, they need, it's pretty much crunch time now.
Well, they've got no timeouts either, so they've got to convert this and then probably look to go and spike it. Victoria, you treat that they're going long. If you're a D lineman of Victoria right now, this is what you dream of.
Yeah.
You know what's going to go on. You just need to get to the QB.
Yeah. So this is it. 4th down. The game rests right here for New South Wales. And Victoria, of course. They hold them out here.
Well, they're back to their original starting centre in Jake Edwards.
So it'll be interesting to see what they come up with here in New South Wales. It's a do or die play.
Now they've gone trips, but the
Yeah,
other wide receiver's
receiver's a lot
outside the
wider
number.
here. He's coming underneath for a little bit, and they're
Hepsistall
still
lets
going
it
deep.
fly.
It's a jump ball. It's
And
batted
knocked
down. And
away.
that could be the game right there.
Exactly right. That's the play. And it's knocked down there. The pass coverage.
That could be the game right
Number
there. So
33, OJ Falomo. And more or less, that might be all she wrote here. No timeouts. 1 minute and 2 seconds on the clock here. Barring horrible mismanagement by Victoria, they should be walking away with their first victory of the tournament in their first game back in the Junior AGL since 2012. 13, sorry. When was Camper 13?
oh, God, I'm old. So the thing about that play is that the quarterback couldn't get onto his front foot to throw. You'll see. So once again, it comes back to the pressure provided in the pocket by the front 7 of Victoria. It helps out. Obviously, helps the coverage. And the quarterback is on his back foot, throwing the ball high. So spread victory as the formation. So Victoria now just down in the kneeing down to run out the clock. and this will be pretty much Victoria's game. So very defensive.
It certainly was
battle.
very. Let's call it out. It was very undisciplined by both teams.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they definitely cleaned it up by the end of the game. Victoria will be sweating on a few judiciary decisions.
Yeah.
And
So
that's the end of the game.
yeah, congratulations to Victoria. A really hard-fought win, I think. A great defensive stance by them. And New South Wales, unfortunately, just weren't up to it for the last series there. But I think Victoria should be very proud of their effort.
And that they should welcome back to the AGL Gridiron Victoria. Their juniors get up over the New South Wales Wolverines by the score of 14 points to 10. We've got a very short turnaround, but we're going to take a quick break here. Starting at very shortly, we will have the South Australian Sharks taking on the All-Stars contingent. Back very soon. Before we leave, thank you, Peter Toss, for joining me in this commentary booth. And I know you're busy, but maybe we might be lucky to catch you a bit later in the tournament.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
Be back soon.